The final week of the season is about to get underway. The Conejo Oaks face off against the Academy Barons. We are in Academy for this game. The Oaks, they will bat first. Their starting lineup, Austin Carrillo leading off. Grant Smith, he is in the 2-hole today. Lauren Frank, batting number 3rd. Greg Melhoff in the cleanup. Anson Arrows, number 5. Brendan Bobo, one of the furthest we've seen him down the lineup so far this season. Raul Sandoval at 7, Naviak at 8, and rounding out the lineup, TJ Foreman. He is in right field today, batting 9th. The defensive alignments for the Academy Barons. On the hill, it is Chase Chapman. Behind the dish, a new catcher. We haven't seen him yet this season, Robert Brew. Shortstop, Kemet Brown. Second base, Nicholas Marlborough. On the corners at first, it's Jalen Williams. Third is Alec Gonzalez. And then left to right in the outfield, Jordan Williams, Julian Boyd, and Ronnie Belton. That is going to be the defensive alignment for the Academy Barons. And night, these are some crucial games in CCL play, especially for Conejo trying to make their playoff push. What do you expect to see, and what do you need to see from Conejo today?
Well, you got to see a win today if you're the Oaks. You're half a game out of the playoffs right now because the Riptide, they're 5.5 out of first place. The Oaks, they're 6 games out of first place, and so these are crucial games. You're going against the Barons, who are last place in the CCL South, and so you have back-to-back games against the last place team, and when you're fighting for the playoffs and you're only a half game out, you need to win these games. And so today and tomorrow will be some really urgent games that the Oaks, they need to win if they want to push towards Lincoln.
You mentioned it, the Oaks, they are a half game back of playoff contention, or a playoff spot. They are 6 games back of the Santa Barbara Foresters in first place. Academy, they're 6 games back of the Oaks. The Barons, they're 5-19 on the season. The Oaks, 11-13. That is in CCL play. Leading off this game for the Oaks, it is Austin Carrillo. Facing off against a left-hander, Chase Chapman. First pitch to Carrillo, squares to bunt, puts it down the first base line. Sprinting down the line, he's going to get there safely. Play could not be fielded at first by Williams. Jalen Williams could not make the swipe tag, and Carrillo's speed down the line makes it a first pitch single. The leadoff runner's on for the Oaks.
Yeah, and Williams right there, he charged in on the ball, tried to get the ball and then tag Carrillo. It went in his mitt, but when he reached out to tag Carrillo, he lost the ball. The ball was rolling on the ground, and Carrillo gets on board safely after Williams can't keep the ball in his glove while he tags out Carrillo.
And that's another hit for Carrillo. He adds to a rising total. Carrillo's batting average coming into that at-bat was .284, and it's just continuing to go up here in the second half of the season. Grant Smith in the 2 spot today. First pitch from Chapman. At the knees, but misses low. The count 1-0. Smith on the season so far, his batting average has cooled off after a blazing hot middle of the season. He has a .250 average on the year with an on-base percentage just shy of .400 at .391. Carrillo at first against a left-handed pitcher. Pickoff headed to him. Chapman paid attention to the runner at first, was staring him down. It's going to be hard for the runners at first base to get a jump against this left-handed pitcher. Carrillo is a base threat. Smith lines one into center field. Back goes Boyd, trailing back just shy of the track, makes the play. Carrillo safely back in first, but the first out of the game is a long fly and a long trek for Julian Boyd, but right into the leather.
Yeah, and Grant Smith, he's just been on a cold streak. He just lines one right there to center field, and it was the second pitch of the at-bat, and that's something we've seen a lot from Grant Smith as of late, that he's not really working counts. He's just swinging a really early in at-bats right there. Like I said, the second pitch, and it's just not a successful at-bat when he's lining it straight back to the center fielder.
Well, and Frank, he gets to start a designated hitter today. Pickoff back to first, Carrillo back in safely. Frank, he has been back for a few games since a quad injury that he suffered in the 3rd game of the season. He's had 13 total plate appearances this season. 6 of them have come after that injury. Runner goes. The throw down from Brew is in time to get Carrillo. Carrillo cannot get in safely, and 2 outs are in the inning as a caught stealing for Robert Brew catches the base paths and Carrillo.
Yeah, and that was a great throw right there from Baru. It was right on the money. Carrillo, he had no chance. That was an absolute dart right there from the catcher. And you can hear the fans here, or the players as well. You can hear them saying brew because they have that throw right there.
The 0-1 pitch to Frank at the letters, a ball, the count 1-1. Frank, we mentioned the 13 plate appearances he's had on the season. Been very effective when at the plate, a .364 batting average and an on-base percentage of .462. Granted, a short sample size. Big swing and a miss, an elevated fastball. He can't catch up to it on the outer half of the plate, the count 1-2. Chase Chapman. He has a .405 ERA on the season out of Florida Gulf Coast. He's a sophomore at FGCU. The 1-2 pitch misses low and away. The count even at 2-2. Chapman on the season has 2 losses. Those decisions have come in the last 2 appearances, those being July 18th and July 22nd. No wins yet for Chapman on the season. The 2-2 runs away from Chapman, and the count is worked full. Frank has walked in his last 2 appearances to the plate. He had a pinch hit appearance against the Foresters. That came on Sunday. He also had a start in which he reached base on a walk and then was forced to be pinch ran for because he is still nursing that quad injury. The 3-2 skied high out of play, and the inning will continue as well as the at-bat. It's still 3-2.
Yeah, and Lorton Frank, he's been a patient hitter since coming back. He's been really waiting for that pitch that he could send over the fence. I mean, he has the power. He has all the muscles to do it, and we've seen him do it in BP here today. He's just battling. He's had 6 pitches so far, just fouled off a pitch, and now he's just going to look for the right pitch that he can hit.
The 3-2, Frank skies one in shallow right field, headed back as Marlboro. He makes the call, makes the play, and makes the out. So 1-2-3 inning after Carrillo got aboard with a single, but was caught by Brew on the base paths. The Oaks go down in short order. We'll be back for the bottom of the first inning as Joseph Wiersma gets the start on the bump. You're listening to the Oaks live stream on YouTube. Leading off the inning for the Barons, it's Jordan Williams. He's followed off by Nicholas Marlboro and Alec Gonzalez. That's the 1-2-3 in the lineup for the Barons. Joseph Wiersma's on the hill. Wiersma, he's had a trend this season. He has been fantastic against non-league teams, but against CCL opponents, that's where his ERA takes the spike. 2 starts ago, he had his best start of the season against the Ventura Pirates. He went 3 no-hit innings. First pitch, bunted right into himself as Williams picks up the first strike. The count, 0-1.
He did allow a hit in that game against Ventura, but it was 3 up, 3 down for 3 straight innings.
3 up, 3 down for 3 straight innings. There was much controversy over that hit. I will go to my grave saying he did not give up a hit in that inning. I have it calculated on my stat sheet as a no-hit 3-inning performance, and I'm going to keep it that way. He also had another non-league performance where he didn't give up any earned as he gets a breaking ball right into the zone, the count 0-2. But against CCL opponents is where he gets his 7.31 ERA. His last start against the Riptide, he gave up 3 earned, 6 total runs in 4 innings, got credited with the loss and a 16-4 loss for the Oaks as an off-speed pitch misses outside, the count 1-2. He also has a loss against the Saints. That came on June 29th. He pitched 4 innings, gave up 5 earned. That came in a 12-3 loss. And he also pitched here at Academy the first time the Oaks came to the Barons, as this one's popped high on the right side of the infield. Smith and Bobo over. Grant Smith makes the call, makes the catch, and an F4 for Jordan Williams to start his day.
And yeah, Wiersma, he did start that first game here against the Barons, and that was that long 4-hour and 20-minute game that we were a part of in that 18-10 victory. And, you know, at that moment in time, he just didn't have a great game. He only pitched 2 innings and gave up a bunch of runs. And, you know, ever since then, he's slightly gone better. He had a tough appearance against the Saints on June 29th, but he got an injury. He rehabbed a little bit, and since then, he's been doing a lot better job.
Nicholas Marlboro bounces one into the Barons' dugout on the first pitch, the count 0-1. And so Wiersma, he's given up 13 earned runs this season against CCL opponents. Those have come in 3 contests. And against non-league opponents, he hasn't given up an earned run yet. Trying to buck the trend today against the Academy Barons is the 0-1. Breaking ball off the end of the bat. Bobo fields it. Wiersma goes to cover the bag, makes the play. His foot on the bag. It slid a little bit on the base, but ended up on the base pass. So Nicholas Marlboro is retired after a weak ground ball on the right side of the infield. So 6 pitches, 2 outs to start off Wiersma's day, trying to get a 1-2-3 inning against Alec Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's a scary play right there with his ankle slipping off the bag and the runner getting there around the same time, thinking maybe the runner's going to step on his ankle as his leg was all the way across the bag and there wasn't a lot of space. But he was able to tap on the bag, get the out, and now we're here, 2 outs and 6 pitches.
That's going to bring up Alec Gonzalez. He is the premier hitter in the lineup for the Barons, batting .354 on the season, but a big swing and a miss at strike 1 as Wiersma is able to drop the table on a breaking ball. So Gonzalez, he has 28 hits and 79 at-bats this year. Most at-bats and hits of any Baron. This one skied shallow right field. Grant Smith out to get it, makes the play. And 3 quick outs for Joseph Wiersma on just 8 pitches to sit down the Barons in short order. The Oaks trying to come back in the top of the 2nd inning offensively. This game knotted at nothing. You're listening to the Oaks live stream on YouTube. Greg Melhoff leads off the top of the second inning. One hit already on the board for the Oaks, but Austin Carrillo was caught out at second base trying to steal. Melhoff rips one into the right center field gap. That's going to get down. He's headed for extra bases. Boyd picking it up in right center. He's getting waved to third. The relay is out of the glove of the shortstop, and Greg Melhoff with a leadoff triple to start the second inning.
And, man, what a way to start for the Oaks right here. Melhoff, he rips a triple right to right center. There was a little bit of confusion with Belton and Boyd in center field. Belton and Boyd both got to the area at the same time. It looked like Belton finally picked it up after there was a little bit of confusion at the wall. That allowed Melhoff to go from second to third. And, man, getting the leadoff man at third base on the first pitch, what a great way to start if you're an Oaks fan.
The leadoff batter's attacking Chapman early. Austin Carrillo, he got a leadoff bunt single in the first inning, and now Greg Melhoff with a leadoff triple to start off the second. Anson Arrows trying to drive him in, watches the first pitch, miss inside, the count 1-0. Arrows batting over 300 on the season, 311 for the showcase member, one of the premier catchers in the CCL. Going to attend the University of Oregon next year. 482 on base percentage to go along with it, but a big swing and a miss right there. The count 1-1. Melhoff at third. He scored yesterday, or not yesterday rather, Sunday against the Santa Barbara Foresters. He was the only run that came in prior to the ninth inning. He was driven in after Brendan Bobo singled and then scored on a wild pitch. Arrows watches a pitch up and away, count 2-1. Anson Arrows trying to generate his 7th RBI of the year. The switch hitter batting in the right-handed batter's box against the left-handed Chapman. The 2-1 runs away in the count 3-1, a hitter's count for Arrows. Probably looking fastball, probably looking somewhere around belt high.
And Arrows, he's been patient this whole at bat. He hasn't lifted the bat off his shoulder. He's taken in every pitch and made sure to work this count. And, you know, you got to be that patient with a runner on third and nobody out. You don't need to force anything.
The 3-1 misses away and 2 base runners on as Arrows gets aboard with a 5-pitch walk to leave runners on the corners for Brendan Bobo, who just happens to be the Oaks leader in runs batted in by a wide margin. Bobo this season, he has been driving in runs with the best of them. 26 RBIs on the year. He has a .274 batting average. As of late, he has seen an uptick in his average and his on-base percentage. After a large slump in the middle of his season, he has been seeing the ball well, hitting the ball well, and yesterday, 2 singles. Those were the only two of the 3 hits that the Oaks got against the starter Ben Abram for the Foresters yesterday, or on Sunday. Keep wanting to think it's yesterday. We have an off day.
You're getting that rhythm after 6 days, and then you have 1 day off and you feel out of sorts.
First pitch runs away. The count 1-0 to Brendan Bobo. Chase Chapman trying to dial it in. He's thrown 4 consecutive balls. Chapman has walked 13 batters in 20 innings pitched this season. That goes along with 22 strikeouts on the year. This is his first time seeing the Oaks on the season. The 1-0 to Bobo. Swing and a miss. Up in the zone, right down the middle, and the count even at 1-1. Chapman, he's seen success against the Orange County Riptide, hasn't given up an earned run against them. Has losses credited to him against the Foresters and the Blues. Those have been his only 2 decisions on the season. Bobo off the end of the bat into center field. Boyd makes the catch. Melhoff coming home. The throw in time to get him. Bobo can't drive in the run, and 2 outs on the double play, 8-2.
And wow, what a throw from center field from Julian Boyd right there. That was on the money, right up the third base line, right where Melhoff was running down. It was a bullet to the plate, and right there, a double play. And the Oaks, they just went from runners on the corners and no outs to now a runner at first and 2 outs. It's an unfortunate turn of events for the Oaks. But a great play from Boyd in center field.
Yeah, and Brendan Bobo, he just didn't get solid contact on that. Boyd, he had the momentum, and he had the crow hop ready. A strike to home plate, saves a run. Defensive run saved for Julian Boyd in center field. I'm not sure if they calculate that in the CCL, but if they did, Julian Boyd would add another. Raul Sandoval watches the first pitch, miss, 1-0. The second pitch, that one catches the zone on the upper side. The count 1-1. Arrows at first. And so we've seen a few times this season leadoff triples not come in and pay fruition with runs for the Oaks. We saw it when Brendan Bobo let off an inning with a triple. He got thrown out at the plate. Now again, Melhoff has the pickoff back to first. Arrows in safely. The man at first base is Williams. That is Jalen Williams. Jordan Williams is in left field for the Barons. There's a lot of Williamses on this roster.
The first time we played here, there was 3 different Williams, I want to say.
There are 5 Williams on the roster. 3 J. Williams that are traditional lineup members. Arrows back pick, Brew. The throw beat Arrows, but the tag missed him. So back in safely is Arrows, and he's seeing a catcher that has an arm that might be the first one in the CCL that we've seen that can challenge his own.
Yeah, right there, Brew, his second time throwing, and that was another bullet to first, and he's had that throw against Carrillo in the first inning where he caught him stealing by a large margin, and right there, he could have caught Anson Arrows, just the throw was a little bit off the bag, but it got down to first in a hurry.
The 1-2 to Sandoval. Chapman checks the runner to the dish. Breaking ball dives inside, a back foot slider that Sandoval does not offer. And the count is 2-2. Raul Sandoval leads the team in strikeouts. He has 31 this season. That's to go along with just 4 walks on the year. Count is 2-2. No one has struck out yet today for the Oaks. Chapman searching for his first K. The 2-2, Sandoval swings, grounds one right back up the middle. Brown can't field it. Arrows trying to go first to third. And so now runners back on the corners as Arrows in safely after the infield single and then error by Kemet Brown.
And Sandoval right there did a good job of getting the ball in play. It was a slow dribbler right up the middle. Brown, the shortstop, it would have been a tough play to throw out Sandoval with his speed, but couldn't field it correctly. And because it went off of his glove into shallow right field, Arrows, he was smart, saw it immediately, took off from second, booked it to third, and now you put a runner 90 feet away with 2 outs for JT Naviak, who in the past week, he still has been swinging the bat pretty hot.
And so Brown on that play was trying to glove flip it to Marlboro at second base to try to get out Arrows. Sandoval's running. Brew the throw down. Not in time to get him. Arrows coming to the plate. That play in time, and 2 runners for the Oaks thrown out at the plate. Poor base running from Conejo results in runs not coming through after 3 base runners got aboard in the inning. 2 of them were thrown out at home. 2 of them reached base on singles, or on hits rather. And so only 1 is credited as being left on. No runs in the inning. 2 hits and 1 error on Kemet Brown. This game still knotted at nothing after blown chances from Conejo. We're back in the bottom 2 when we come back on the Oaks live stream. After a 1-2-3 inning, Joseph Wiersma is back on the hill. He's facing off against Darren McDowell, Julian Boyd, and Jalen Williams, who are due up for the Academy Barons. The Oaks, they have 3 hits so far in this game, but have not scratched across a run. They've been threatening throughout the first 2 innings. First pitch from Wiersma, catches the zone for a strike to start off this second inning. Darren McDowell, he's the designated hitter today, so only playing at the plate. On the season, McDowell batting .254. The 0-1 runs inside. McDowell watches it right at his hip. The count 1-1. McDowell, he's been someone who has been a big power bat on the season. 3 home runs on the year for McDowell. Breaking ball runs off the plate from Wiersma. The count is 2-1. Joseph Wiersma has gone to his off speed, whether it's his changeup or his breaking ball, quite often throughout the start of this game. That's been a theme for him on the season. He's very comfortable with his secondary pitches. The 2-1, fastball right over the middle. Smith gloves it behind the second base bag, throws to first, and it's in time. The Oaks shift, able to steal it out from Darren McDowell. 4 pitches and the 4th out of the game for Wiersma.
And that was a hard hit ball right there by McDowell. And, you know, you said it right. The shift was in perfect position. Smith, he just fielded the liner right off of one hop. It was a hard hit liner to him. It was a tough play, but he caught it, spun around, fired to first. And McDowell, he doesn't have the fastest speed, and so it was an easier play on the throw. But nonetheless, a great shift by the Oaks and a great play by Grant Smith.
Brings up Julian Boyd. First pitch, skied out of play towards the left side. The count 0-1. Speaking of great defensive plays, the man at the plate had one of his own in the last half inning as Brendan Bobo shot one into shallow center. Julian Boyd made the play and then caught out Melhoff running to the dish for a double play. The 0-1 skied out of play into an almost identical spot, so quickly 0-2 to Julian Boyd, who is batting .250 on the year. He has 17 hits on the season. That's good enough for tied for 3rd in the Barons organization this year. He's tied with Kamayu Neighbors, who is not getting the start today, as well as Jordan Williams. The 0-2 runs high and away from Wiersma, a fastball. So the count, 1-2. Julian Boyd trying to be the first Baron to get a board of the day. Wiersma's made short work of the first 4 batters he's faced. 4th pitch of this at-bat, not called for a strike, misses just up. So the count 2-2. This is the longest at-bat of the day for Wiersma. He had 4 pitches to both Jordan Williams and Darren McDowell, as well as 2 pitches to Marlboro and Gonzalez. The 2-2. Line to second base on a hop. Smith fields it, throws to first, and it's in time to get Boyd. Grant Smith able to flip it from his glove to his hand without actually keeping it in the webbing.
I don't think he ever caught the ball with his glove. I think it just went off the inside of his wrist, and he was able to catch it midair with his bare hand. And it was a tough little bobble at first, but Smith, he regained his composure, got the ball in his hand, and then threw it to first. Back-to-back groundouts to Grant Smith, and already 2 are gone with 9 pitches from Wiersma. It's been impressive so far.
That brings up Jalen Williams. First pitch to him runs away. The count 1-0. Williams on the season batting .231. If you're checking the CCL stat sheet for Jalen Williams, you might be confused by the other 2 Jay Williamses that are on this roster. The 1-0 fouled into the Oaks dugout, and Scott Radinsky has to duck out of the way. It hit off the padding. Scary play, but one that doesn't make connection with any of the Oaks. So the count just 1-1.
Thankful we're here and not at Sparky Anderson. There's no fences at Sparky Anderson. That ball was rocketed, and it would have hurt someone potentially at Calou.
The 1-1 catches the low and outside part of the zone, framed nicely by arrows, and the count is 1-2. And that's what we love about Cal Lutheran, is that there's just a little bit of a sense of danger at the home park. The 1-2, breaking ball, grounded to third base. Melhoff makes the stop, but it squeezes out of his glove, so the first base runner is aboard. That's an infield single, and the first hit of the day is credited to Jalen Williams.
And that's a tough play by Melhoff right there. If he gets the ball in his glove as he dives, then I think there's a play at the first base, as Jalen Williams didn't have the best speed heading down there. But Melhoff, he dove. It went off his glove. It went into foul territory. He couldn't contain the ball on the diving play. He was able to just knock it down. And because of that, it's an infield single for Jalen Williams. But nonetheless, Wiersma, he's been impressive. Got 1 and 2 ahead to Williams. And he's been living in the strike zone early and has been forcing weak contact.
Robert Brew, the catcher, first pitch to him, breaking ball that runs inside. Count 1-0. Brew, he's shown his prowess as a defensive catcher already so far today. He threw out a runner in Austin Carrillo in the first inning, almost backpicked Danton Arrows in the second, and then caught 2 balls and tagged runners out at the plate in the second as well. Watches his first strike, catch the outside part of the plate. The count is 1-1. Brew hasn't played long for the Barons. He has just 16 at-bats this season, only 1 hit to go along with it. 0.63 is his average this year. He watches the third pitch run outside, so the count is 2-1. Wiersma trying to locate the zone against Brew. Wiersma this season, he has 10 strikeouts to go along with 9 walks and 16 innings pitched. The 2-1 check swing, he went around. So the second strike called. Robert Brew upset with himself. He knew that pitch was outside. Wiersma just got enough of it to chase on a breaking ball. So the count, 2-2. See if Wiersma goes back to that slider. The 2-2 pitch on the outside part of the plate. First K of the day for Joseph Wiersma. Catches Robert Brew looking on 5 pitches. So 1 runner left on base after the infield single from Jalen Williams. No runs come around to score and no errors in the inning. You're listening to the Oaks live stream on YouTube. Welcome back to the top of the third inning. JT Naviak leading off. First pitch to him. Catches the outside part of the zone for a strike. The count 0-1. Naviak, he saw 1 pitch to him in the second inning. Raul Sandoval stole second base, but Arrows trying to go from third to home was caught out at the plate. Naviac bounces the second pitch of the at-bat foul. Quickly behind 0-2 is JT, who struck out 3 times on Sunday after having a phenomenal stretch last week. Naviac, after last week, is batting .255 on the season. Checks his swing, does not go around, and the count is 1-2. Naviac thought about it, but the breaking ball he did not offer at. Lives to see another pitch in this at-bat, trying to avoid his 20th strikeout of the year. The 1-2, Naviac off the hands, into right field. It gets past the glove of Williams. Naviac rounding first, headed for extra bases. Kicked in right field by Belton. Naviac gonna stand up at second base. Another leadoff hit for the Oaks. Trying to generate their first run of the game, but still first batter hitting, leadoff base running for the Oaks. It's been the key today.
Yeah, and JT Naviac right there, he continues his hot streak. In the past 7 days, JT Naviac, he's been batting .435, and right there, that's a double down the line, down the opposite field line, down right field, and able to get to second with a double to lead off this inning. We saw the Oaks last inning leading off with a triple. Melhoff, he didn't come around to score. Now this is a crucial moment for the Oaks now because they have another runner in scoring position, nobody out, and there needs to be runs on the board.
TJ Foreman trying to turn the lineup over. Slaps one into right field, but it's headed for foul territory. The count 0-1. Foreman, we typically see him at the top of the order, but last week, as we normally see him as an everyday player, he played significantly less than we normally see him. Didn't start in 3 of the games, and when he did start, was not at the top of the order. So far this season, TJ, he's batting .250 on the year. He has the 3rd most plate appearances of any Oak this season with 113. Chapman checks the runner to the plate. The 0-1 bounced up the middle. Gloved by Brown. Throw to first in time, but the base runner advances just 90 feet from home. Foreman does his job to advance the runner. We're now an out from Carrillo. Could still advance the runner for a run scored, but it is the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and right there, Foreman held back on a breaking ball that he waited for. He got a hold of the ball, was able to drive it towards the ground, a high chopper up the middle. Brown made a nice play at shortstop to flip it over to first and get the speedy Foreman, but like you said, he did his job. He advanced the runner to third, and with 1 out, a fly ball from Carrillo could score this run. We saw a chance where Brennan Bobo hit a ball into the outfield that did not score a run. Needs to be a little bit deeper this time.
Austin Carrillo, his first time up to the plate. It led off the game for a bunt single. First pitch to him here, he's not going to offer it. Off speed in the dirt, the count 1-0. So Carrillo, he is one of the 4 hits that have been allowed by Chapman in this game. Chapman trying not to allow his first run. He's gotten out of danger in both the first and second innings. Trying to do the same here in the third. The 1-0. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to score a run. Brown fields it again, throws to first. An identical play that moves the base runner, but this time it's the 1-0 lead that the Oaks get after JT Naviac comes to the plate.
And that right there is exactly what Carrillo needed to do. He just needed to advance the runner for him to come around to score. Naviac, he comes and scores on the play from Brown, the shortstop. And like you said, similar plays to the last time. It was really smooth, easy play as it was a chopper up the middle. Brown, the shortstop, fields it, throws to first quickly, gets it out there. But Naviac coming around to score. Now the Oaks lead 1-0. Great hitting from the Oaks after getting the leadoff man at second.
Grant Smith. Breaking ball above the zone, the count 1-0. Smith flew out to deep center field. Julian Boyd trekked back to catch the fly ball on the second batter of the game. Smith trying to get aboard for the first time today. The 1-0. Another breaking ball. This one catches the zone. Count even at 1-1 to Grant Smith, who yesterday did not start. He came in. Had 1 pinch hit at bat for Greg Melhoff in the 8th inning. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. the 1-1. Catches the zone on the outside again. 3 consecutive breaking balls from Chapman, and he's quickly ahead in the count 1-2 to Grant Smith. You don't throw 4 breaking balls in a row, I presume. Let's see if he's gutsy enough to go back to it. The 1-2 from Chapman. Fastball. Up and away, the count 2-2. So he did not go back to the breaking ball for the 4th consecutive time. It's rare when you see a pitcher go to a pitch 3 times in a row. So Chapman did not go 4 times. Count even at 2-2. Grant Smith trying to keep this inning alive. On deck is Lauren Frank. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Smith strikes out. The first K of the day for Chapman comes on his 11th batter. And he's out of the inning, but not before the Oaks strike first. 1 run comes around after the JT Naviak double. No runners left on base and no errors in the inning. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Joseph Wiersma tries to continue his shutout effort when we come back on the Oaks live stream. Bottom 3 for Academy. 8-9-1, Kemet Brown, Ronnie Belton, and then the top of the lineup with Jordan Williams due up. Joseph Wiersma gotten 6 outs in the first 7 batters he's faced. Now trying to do it against the bottom of the order. First pitch off the plate, 1-0. Kemet Brown, the shortstop today. On the season at the plate, Brown is batting .212. He's an everyday player for his defensive prowess, and he watches the second pitch and the first strike on the outside half, the count 1-1. So Joseph Wiersma, he's made short work of the first few innings. 18 pitches in the second, a little bit longer of an inning. This one fought off into the screen, the count 1-2. But he'll take that, especially ending the inning with a strikeout and only 1 base runner allowed.
And Wiersma, that was his 30th pitch that he'd thrown, or incoming is his 30th, and so far he's been living in the zone.
The 1-2, out of the zone. Count is even at 2-2. Kemet Brown trying to avoid striking out.
And of those first 29 pitches prior to that 30th one, he'd thrown 13 strikes, and a lot of them had been hit and played, so 5 of them had been put and played, so pretty much.
Backwards K, Kemet Brown goes down looking back-to-back backwards K for Wiersma. First out of the 3rd inning to make way for Ronnie Belton.
Going back to that point, 18 of his first 29 pitches that he'd thrown were either strikes or put in play, which is really impressive from Wiersma. And, you know, he's been battling back. He hasn't walked many batters since battling back from that injury. Only had 1 walk his last performance, 0 walks prior to that in the game prior. And so right here, starting off through the first 8 batters, no walks and 2 strikeouts.
Ronnie Belton, batting 173, launches the first pitch at the knees for a strike. The count is 0-1 to Belton. Belton this year, 9 hits and 52 at-bats. Does not have a long ball to his name. There have been 10 long balls hit so far for the Barons this season. More than half of them split between Julian Boyd and Darren McDowell, so it's been hard pickings for the rest of the team to get into the long ball chase. The 0-1 brushes back and in the zone. So Belton, he turned, and Wiersma fooled him with a breaking ball that caught the zone. And that's not a great look for Ronnie Belton. He turned, thought it was going to hit him, then the breaking ball just dropped right into the middle of the strike zone. The 0-2 breaking ball. This time it was a curveball that is too far elevated, the count 1-2. So Wiersma has been going to that slider a lot in terms of his off-speed and breaking pitches. It's one of the first curveballs we've seen so far today. Arrow sets up on the outside part of the plate. Fastball, sky to the right side, out of play, and the count still 1-2 to Ronnie Belton.
And Wiersma today, he's been just getting ahead. Hasn't gotten behind to many batters. Now here with the pitcher's count, a 1-2 count, looking for that strikeout. He's gone back-to-back strikeouts. Let's see if he can get 3 straight.
The 1-2 breaking ball skied high into right center field. Sandoval trekking over, calls it off, makes the play. 2 outs in the inning as Belton belts one into right center field, but it just hangs up too long for the second out of the inning.
And right there, Wiersma, he doesn't get the strikeout, but he's going to take it. It's an easy fly out from Belton. Sandoval tracks over in center field. He just has to jog slightly towards his left into the gap, and it's a nice high ball that Sandoval has plenty of time to go and cover, and already 2 straight outs to start this inning for Wiersma. He did it in the first. He did it again in the second. Now has done it again here in the third, and his stuff's been stellar.
Jordan Williams, first person to see Wiersma twice today. First pitch, squares to bunt. Pulls it back, and the pitch misses low for a ball. The count 1-0. Williams, first time up, flew out to Grant Smith on the infield. He stares down Wiersma from the box. The 1-0, squares to bunt, puts it down in foul territory, so the count 1-1. And watch Williams when he gets into the box. He turns, puts his bat around his feet, and just stares at the pitcher. A little bit of intimidation.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
So Williams stares down Wiersma again. The 1-1. Not going to bunt this time. Grounds one to shortstop. Naviak picks it, throws to first. Bobo off the bag. The throw not in time, and an infield single, the second hit of the day. None have left the infield for Academy.
And that's just the tough play for Naviak. He's fielding it on a high chopper, gets it on his back foot, then immediately goes to throw. He throws it towards first, and Bobo, he's just not on the bag. Maybe if he's closer to the bag, he can make the play, but the speedy Williams, who's the leadoff man, he was booking it down the first base line. Bobo, he was off the bag, tried to tag him, could not, and Williams aboard with an infield single.
Nicholas Marlboro, he grounded out to Brendan Bobo his first time up. First pitch to him, misses low and away, the count 1-0. So Wiersma, this is one of the more consistent performances we've seen out of him so far this season. He hasn't been a high-volume strikeout pitcher or walk pitcher. He trusts his defense, lets the batters put the ball in play. The runner goes, Arrows throwing it down. Smith on a hop, tries to make the tag, but in there underneath it was Jordan Williams for a stolen base.
And Williams got a really good jump right there. Arrows, one hopper to the bag, but just in time to get there was Williams. He slid right under the tag. It was a bang-bang play, but you could easily tell that Williams' foot hit the bag first before the tag, and now a 1-1 count after the pitch was called a strike.
The 1-1 skied high into the right side of the infield. Arrows and Bobo chasing it near the dugout. Bobo can't make the play. Arrows cut him out from underneath it. No communication for the Oaks. It hit the glove of both Bobo and Arrows, but neither were able to corral it, as it seemed like a slide tackle, a bit of a soccer move from a former soccer player.
Yeah, Arrows right there, slid in foul territory. Bobo, he went for the jump, so he was going for the hurdles. Arrows, he was going for the slide tackle, and it just didn't pay off for both of them as the ball landed foul.
So all three Olympic sports being showcased. Track and field with the hurdle of Bobo, soccer with the slide of Arrows, and baseball, which is a sport that neither were playing on that play. So the count 1-2. Wiersma checks the runner. Smith holding him on, bails out. The 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, gets away from Arrows, throws it down to third quickly, but in there safely is Jordan Williams, who has stolen his way 90 feet from home.
And that's big right there because a pass ball could score a run. We saw it for the Oaks against the Foresters 2 days ago on Sunday. Now a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Wiersma has to get this out as he steps off the mound, but having that runner at third base, even with the 2 outs, is very crucial because of the pass ball necessity that comes with it.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuces wild here in the third inning. The 2-2 grounded outside of the third base bag. We'll do the 2-2 again. So Wiersma just can't quite seem to get Marlboro to go down swinging. The Barons have been putting the ball in play so far today. Only 2 have gone down via the strikeout. None have reached via the walk. A lot of balls kept in the infield. Only 2 flyouts to the outfield. This pitch runs away. The count is run full. So a long at bat as Marlboro stays alive on a 3-2. Excuse me, only 1 ball has reached the outfield today. That was the flyout from Ronnie Belton here in this inning. The 3-2. Marlboro lines 1 to Bobo, flashes the leather, makes the play, and gets out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left 90 feet from home. The Oaks, they escape the third with a 1-run lead. We'll be back for the top of the 4th inning on the Oaks live stream. Ron Milano, Knight Uretsky here for the top of the 4th inning. Middle innings. Knight, it's your turn for play-by-play.
Thank you, Ryan. So top of the 4th inning, 1-0. The Conejo Oaks, they lead. Lauren Frank at the plate for the 2nd time today. The first pitch from Chapman misses. 1-0 the count to Lauren Frank, who his first time up, he had a 7-pitch at bat that ended with him flying out. Now up for the second time as he looks at the second pitch. It misses, and now 2-0 the count to Lauren Frank. So Frank, he saw 3 balls his first time up. He had that full count. Did foul off a pitch before skying out to end the first inning. Now has a 2-0 count against Chapman. The pitch. That one bounces in, and now a 3-0 count to Lauren Frank. The DH is batting in the 3 spot today. We've seen him in the order at the 4 spot. We've seen him at the 3 spot, now DHing today, battling back after that injury here in the second half of the season. The 3-0 pitch to Frank, called for a strike on the outside part of the plate. 3-1 the count.
And so Lauren Frank, the last 2 times he's gotten on base have been on the walk, and because he's still nursing that injury, he doesn't run on the base paths. He gets pinch ran for. So 4-pitch, 5-pitch walks means he doesn't get to swing the bat.
The 3-1's fouled off by Frank, and quickly a 3-0 count goes to full at 3-2 to Lauren Frank. So Chapman, who started this inning coming in with 38 pitches, he's been able to do a good job of keeping his pitch count low. 10, 15, and 13 pitches in the 3 prior innings, but a 6-pitch at bat to Lauren Frank ends in a walk to start here in the 4th.
And that means that the leadoff runner has gotten on every single inning to this point for the Oaks, and that streak still continues.
It's now Greg Melhoff who will come up to the plate. You mentioned the leadoff runners getting on for the Oaks. Melhoff was one of them. He had a leadoff triple in the 2nd. That was to the left right field gap, but he was thrown out at the plate. He was out.
And it's going to be Lauren Frank's first time on the base paths. He's going to stay at first base.
First pitch to Melhoff. He looks at it. It's called for a strike. 0-1 the count. And yes, Lauren Frank, he's out there at first base. He's going to be running, so able to work that hamstring injury a little bit better, enough to the point where he is at least able to be on the base paths. They haven't pulled him yet here in the 4th. 0-1 the pitch to Melhoff. He swings at it, fouled it back to the backstop. Anson Arrows with 2 bats in his hand picks the ball up. Quickly 0-2 the count to Melhoff.
And I'll make a prediction. I don't think Lauren Frank's stealing a bag in this inning.
No, I don't think that we will see Lauren Frank take off towards second unless there's a ball immediately hit in play, at least on the ground. But 0-2 the count to Greg Melhoff, lefty-on-lefty matchup. The pitch from Chapman. That one misses, so Melhoff, he's going to live to see another pitch. 1-2 the count now to Melhoff.
And Melhoff has been susceptible this season to striking out. He hasn't had too many at-bats this season for the Oaks, but he has just as many strikeouts as Austin Carrillo, who's been with the team the entire year.
The 1-2 pitch to Melhoff and misses outside, and after going down 0-2, Melhoff, he has a 2-2 count. It's a hitter's count for him. You mentioned the number of strikeouts. 11 strikeouts on the year coming into this game with 11 games played, so averaging about 1 strikeout per game. Had 2 strikeouts against the Foresters 2 days ago, but now has a 2-2 count with a runner on first and nobody out in a 1-0 game. The pitch from Chapman misses, and 3 straight balls from the left-hander after starting out ahead 0-2 to Melhoff.
And so now back-to-back counts have run full for the Oaks. Both Melhoff and Lauren Frank saw 3-2 counts in different fashion. Frank got up 3-0. Melhoff got down 0-2.
The payoff pitch. Looked at, misses outside, and back-to-back walks with full counts to start this inning for the Oaks, and 2 runners are on.
And so another inning where the Oaks are threatening with runners in scoring position. It's ever important that they come through and be effective with these runners on and make sure that they are able to drive them in.
And now we see the pinch runner come in for Lauren Frank. So Scott Rudinsky Jr., he's going to trot out to second base. Lauren Frank, he's going to come in. Coach Slees gives him a pat on his back. So now Rudinsky at second. Melhoff, he's at first, and now Anson Arrows, the switch hitter, coming up to the plate for the second time today. Still batting in the right-handed hitter's batting box.
And that's just because he's going against the left-hander in Chapman. He's very comfortable from both sides of the plate. He's a natural right-handed hitter.
seen him a lot from the left-handed side of the plate. Now we're seeing him again on the left side of the plate as the pitch misses. 1-0 the count. Arrows, he was showing bunt, then pulled back. Did not lay down the bunt as the pitch missed high. 1-0 the count. Arrows, he had a 5-pitch walk his first time up. That was in the second inning. Now has a 1-0 count to himself here after back-to-back walks, one by Lauren Frank and one by Greg Melhoff. Chapman looks back towards second, now towards the plate. The 1-0 pitch. Arrows showed bunt, tried to lay down, popped it up in foul territory, and now the count's even 1-1.
And advancing the runners is good in that situation, but with Anson Arrows at the plate, someone who, he has an on-base percentage of just shy of 500 this year. Are you willing to risk the out with the bunt and potentially getting an out on a bunt that's not successful when you have someone at the plate who has such a high batting average, especially when we've seen for the Oaks this season, them have a trouble with putting bunts down to advance runners. We've seen more often than not bunts be unsuccessful, especially with runners on base, than they have been successful.
So Arrows, who showed bunt on the first 2 pitches, fouled off the second one to him after he pulled back from the first, has a 1-1 count. Still 2 runners on, nobody out. The 1-2. That one misses away, and Arrows, he now has a hitter's count at 2-1. Arrows' first time saw 3 balls, then had a strike before walking. We mentioned that. Now he's been selective, laying down the bat. Only time he's really swung was that bunt pop-up here in the 4th on the second pitch to him. And now 2-1 the count. The pitch, half swung, still called a strike, and the count's even 2-2 to Anson Arrows. Arrows with the 2 strikes. He has 8 strikeouts on the year. 5 of those 8 strikeouts have come in each of the last 5 games. So in a little bit of a strikeout streak for Arrows, but has a 2-2 count with a runner in scoring position and Radinsky at second. It's a crucial at bat. The 2-2 pitch. Off speed, looks at it away, and now the count is full, 3-2.
Yeah, and that was a risky take from Anson Arrows right there. A breaking ball that just missed about a ball off the plate.
So each of the first 3 batters, they've worked full counts. Arrows, he has a full count. Melhoff, he had a full count. And Lauren Frank, he had a full count. 18th pitch of the inning incoming from Chapman. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss from Arrows. The runners go. The throw down to third, and Radinsky's caught stealing. So in a matter of seconds, we go from 2 runners on, nobody out, to 1 runner at second and 2 outs.
And it's just been really poor base running from the Oaks for the entirety of the day. I understand the runners going on a full count, but right there, Arrows not able to put the ball in play. Radinsky not able to get to third base safely, and that's the second time where the Oaks have been doubled up in a similar fashion, where it happened in the second inning, a similar way, where runners stole, and then a throw down after Sandoval was safely into second. Arrows was thrown out at the plate, as well as the double play off the bat of Brendan Bobo, where Greg Melhoff was thrown out at the plate.
So now 2 outs, runner at second and Melhoff. Anson Arrows, the strikeout, his 6th strikeout in the past 6 games. Brendan Bobo at the plate, first pitch to him, off speed, catches the zone. It's a strike, 0-1, and you just mentioned it. Brendan Bobo hit into a double play his last time. Hit a high ball to shallow center field. Julian Boyd, the center fielder, he came in, made the catch, and then gunned out Greg Melhoff at the plate. That prevented the first run of the game, so scoring for the Oaks. But the Oaks in this inning, they got their first 2 batters aboard on walks, but then a strikeout and throw 'em out from the catcher Brew has put 2 outs on the board. The 0-1 pitch to Bobo. This one's a bloop single towards right field coming over, and not going to be a single, was Belton. Bobo got off the end of the bat, but couldn't fall down as Belton rushed over in a time, and the inning is over here in the fourth. So the Oaks, they had 2 runners on and nobody out. They end with 1 runner stranded at second in Melhoff. We head to the bottom half of this inning. Still 1-0 the score. You are listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream on YouTube. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you. Bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 still to score. Joseph Wiersma on the mound for the Conejo Oaks. The first pitch to Alec Gonzalez misses inside. 1-0 the count. Wiersma, he's been impressive so far. He's only faced 11 batters through the first 3 innings. He's only allowed 2 hits. One to Jordan Williams on an infield single. The other one, another infield single to Jalen Williams. Pitch misses, and now quickly 2-0 the count to Gonzalez. And Wiersma today, he hasn't been behind much. This is one of the first few times he's been behind, as he now is down 2-0 to Alec Gonzalez. The pitch from Wiersma, this one's grounded towards the left side. Naviak, the shortstop, fields it. The throw over to first, a little high, but Bobo on the bag makes the play, and Gonzalez is retired.
Yeah, and right there, Wiersma, he leaves a pitch in the zone on the inside part of the plate. It wasn't right over the middle. It was a well-executed fastball. It's a little bit inside. After being ahead in the count, you have to work your way back, and right there, Alec Gonzalez very aggressive. Swung at a pitch that he thought he liked, but rolled over on it, and it was the first out of the inning.
Gonzalez now 0 for 2 today. He flew out to Grant Smith his first time up, and then right there, grounded it out to JT Naviak. Darren McDowell, the DH, he's up at the plate. First pitch to him, called for a strike. Quickly 0-1. McDowell, his first time up, he led off the second inning. He had a sharp line drive off of a one-hopper to Grant Smith, who fielded it and threw it over to first on the shift. The 0-1 pitch to McDowell. Catches the knees for a strike. He didn't like it, but the umpire calls it a strike. 0-2 the count.
Shout out to everyone in the chat today. Unfortunately, Matt Odom and Gino Altobelli, Brendan Durfee is not in the starting lineup today.
The 0-2, it's grounded softly to the left side, and Melhoff, the third baseman, fields it. On the run, throws to first, and McDowell's retired, so back-to-back groundouts on back-to-back 3-pitch at-bats for Wiersma.
And to answer your question, Alyssa Allen, no, the Superfan is not here today. That Superfan, I believe, only appears at Orange County Riptide games.
Yes, the Superfan is involved at Riptide games. Originally goes to Cal State Fullerton baseball games, and so he stays down there in OC. Was originally at UC Irvine before they kicked him out of Irvine, and he moved and found a new home in Fullerton. Also has a home with the Riptide in OC. First pitch to Julian Boyd, misses, 1-0 the count.
And I appreciate everyone who's commented in the chat today. The chat it is on fire today.
It's popping.
It is popping. The chat is popping.
1-0 the count, 2 outs, nobody on. Julian Boyd at the plate. The 1-0 pitch from Wiersma misses outside, and 2-0 the count. Boyd, his first time up, he grounded out to Grant Smith. That ended back-to-back ground outs from McDowell and Boyd to Grant Smith. And now here, 2-0 the count. Wiersma, he got ahead 0-2 to Darren McDowell, his last batter, but got behind 2-0 the first batter. Now the 2-0 to Boyd is foul-tipped off of the glove of Arrows into the netting behind the plate. 2-1 the count now with 2 outs. Boyd, the center fielder today, had a nice defensive double play earlier. He's batting .250 on the year, the Compton, California native. It's pretty cool for these players to be playing summer ball in their hometown, like Boyd playing here in Compton. Love a lot of the local Ventura County prospects playing in the area of Thousand Oaks, about 10 to 15 minutes away, and it's really cool for them to be playing at home with the Oaks in the summer. It's a cool opportunity for Boyd to be playing for the Barons. Pitch catches the zone for a strike, and Wiersma quickly battles back to 2-2 after starting the at-bat down 2-0.
And when you think of native players for the Oaks, you think of the California Lutheran players like Clay Rickerman, Brandon Durfee, Austin Carrillo, but also guys like Brandon Madrigal, who grew up in Thousand Oaks, went to the East Coast, or yes, in that area.
This one's lifted towards left. Carrillo under it makes the play, and the inning is over. So we'll talk more about the local prospects for the Oaks in the next inning, but a fly out from Boyd and another 1-2-3 inning for Wiersma. We head to the 5th inning, 1-0 the score. You're listening here on the Conejo Oaks live stream on YouTube. Back here for the top of the 5th inning, the Oaks, they're leading 1-0. Raul Sandoval at the plate facing off against Chase Chapman. First pitch to Sandoval. That one misses away. 1-0 the count to Sandoval. Raul Sandoval, JT Naviak, and TJ Foreman due up for the Conejo Oaks. That is the 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters. They're all facing off still against Chase Chapman. The 1-0 swung on and missed by Sandoval, and quickly even 1-1. Sandoval, his first time up, he singled. That was in the 2nd inning. He later stole second base on a double steal, but Anson Arrows was thrown out at the plate. After Sandoval stole second, they threw it to second, then they threw it towards the plate. As he looks at the 1-1, it was a breaking ball, hung over the plate. It was called for a strike, and now Sandoval, he's behind 1-2.
And so Raul Sandoval, the problem for him this season has just been getting behind in counts early.
The 1-2 misses inside. It was a ball that bounced in the dirt, and now the count's 2-2 to Raul Sandoval.
And what I've seen from him in the second half of the season is he's done a much better job of watching pitches when he's gotten down to 2 strikes. He had a propensity early in the season to swing at breaking balls and pitches that were off the plate. He's done a much better job swinging at only strikes in the zone with 2 strikes on him.
The 2-2 is a fastball that ran high, and now the count's full to Raul Sandoval.
This is the 4th full count in the last 5 batters.
Sandoval, he's batting .208 in the past 7 days, so he's been really effective as of late compared to the rest of the season, getting aboard, and now he gets aboard here with a leadoff walk. It's the 5th time today. All 5 innings, the Oaks have had their leadoff batter reach first base.
Yeah, and the Oaks have done a really good job of attacking Chapman early in innings. And then they've run themselves into mistakes later in innings. They did it in the 4th, they did it in the 2nd, and they did it in the 1st. The only time where they didn't run themselves into a mistake is the only time they scored, and that was when JT Naviak came across the plate in the 3rd inning.
And speak of the devil himself, JT Naviak comes up to the plate with a runner on first and Raul Sandoval. They throw back to first. Sandoval in there safely. Williams the tag there. But Naviak, he's coming up for the 2nd time today to face off against the left-hander and Chapman after the leadoff walk by Raul Sandoval. First pitch to Naviak. It's a fastball, ran a little high. 1-0 the count to Naviak as he gets ahead. His first time up, you mentioned he came around to score. That was after a leadoff double in the 3rd. That was right down the right field line. Gus got under the glove of Williams, the first baseman. Was able to get extra bases for JT as the 1-0 is not on its way as a throw over to first from Chapman. In there safely is Sandoval. We've seen him try to pick off those runners at first. You can do that a lot when you're a left-handed pitcher and have the motion towards that bag. But 1-0 the count to JT Naviak. The pitch from Chapman. This one's grounded towards the left side. Brown, the shortstop, fields it. He flips it to second, and that's only going to be the play there. So a fielder's choice play by JT Naviak. It gets Raul Sandoval out at second, and still a runner on first, but this time 1 out.
And that's a really nice play by Kevin Brown. It was a slow roller to shortstop, and he had the wherewithal to charge it in order to give him enough time to flip over to Marlboro at second to get the force out. A runner at second with 1 out is a lot more dangerous than a runner at first. So a nice play by a sure-handed shortstop in order to not only have the glove in order to make that play, but then have the wherewithal and the baseball IQ to know that flipping it to second base is the best option to get out the lead runner.
So now TJ Foreman, the 9-hole hitter, he comes up to the plate. JT Naviak, he's at first. First pitch to Foreman. He fouls off right back to the backstop, and quickly 0-1 to TJ Foreman, who grounded out his first time up. That was in the 3rd. Grounded out to the shortstop, Brown. That advanced JT Naviak from second to third, and then Naviak came in to score on the RBI ground out by Austin Carrillo. It's been the only run of the game so far as we're sitting 1-0 here in the top of the 5th. 0-1 the count to Foreman. The pitch. Off speed. Foreman sits on it and now sends it to the right center field gap. That's going to get down. Naviak's tapping on second and heading to third. They're going to wave him. Foreman, he's trucking for third. He's going to get down there safely. And a standing triple for TJ Foreman brings home JT Naviak. And the Oaks, they extend the lead. It's 2-0.
And that's just a really good piece of hitting by TJ Foreman. There was a pitch on the outside part of the plate. He didn't try to do too much with it. He sat on it. Shot into right center field on the speed of TJ Foreman. He makes that an easy triple in the gap, especially after Belton and Boyd didn't get the greatest jump on it in right center. We saw earlier when JT Naviak hit one into that right center field gap, them didn't have a great jump on it. Again, Foreman hit one into the right center field gap. The outfielders didn't get the greatest jump on it, and it allowed for Foreman to get on to third base.
So Foreman, who hasn't had a hit in his last 4 games, gets a triple here that scores JT Naviak. And now the Oaks, they're up by 2 instead of 1 here in the top of the 5th. Still 1 out, and Austin Carrillo at the plate.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a bunt here.
First pitch misses to Carrillo, and 1-0 the count. You thinking suicide squeeze right here?
Well, not after the first pitch, but with Austin Carrillo, who reached on a bunt single earlier, who's probably the most he has the highest propensity to bunt and bunt successfully on the team. So I wouldn't have been surprised, especially with the speed of Foreman, if we saw a suicide squeeze. But now, after taking the first pitch, I don't think it's part of the question.
The infield is in for the Barons. Carrillo at the plate, the 1-0 pitch. Carrillo grounds it towards the right side. Marlboro fields it. Foreman comes in to score. He just flips it over to first as the speed of Foreman was too much. An RBI ground out to Austin Carrillo for the second time today. And the Oaks, they now lead 3-0.
That's another successful at-bat from Austin Carrillo. He's had 3 of them in this game. Got on with a leadoff single to start off the game. And then he's had runners on third with less than 2 outs both times he's come up to the plate since. And he's just put the ball in play, ground ball to shortstop, and then a ground ball to second base. 2 RBIs on the day for Carrillo, and a very successful day for him at the plate.
First pitch to Grant Smith, a little bit high and inside to him. Checked his swing. He did not go, and 1-0 the count to Grant Smith, who today he's been not successful. Had a line out to center field on the second pitch he saw in the first, and then he struck out swinging in the third. That ended the third inning. Now up for the third time today. Nobody on, 2 outs. Looks at the second pitch to him. It's called a strike, and now the count's even 1-1 to Grant Smith.
And Smith is one of many righties in this lineup that we see today for the Oaks. Only 2 natural lefties in the lineup, with Austin Carrillo batting leadoff and then Brendan Bobo in the 6th spot. Arrows can swing from both sides of the plate, but we see a strong righty-heavy lineup.
Pitch misses, and now the count's 2-1 to Grant Smith. Smith, with those 2 at-bats today, he has 2 hits in his last 25 at-bats. So on a real big cold streak in the past week is Grant Smith. Looking to bounce back here, get a hit today against Chapman. The 2-1. Smith skies it, but it's going to go out of play and foul, and now the count's even to Grant Smith. Has a 2-2 count, saw a 2-2 count in the third before striking out swinging, and now a 2-2 count for Grant Smith for the second time. 2 runs in this inning so far for the Oaks, 1 in an RBI triple by TJ Foreman, and 1 on an RBI ground out by Austin Carrillo. The 2-2 to Smith, a swing and a miss, his second strikeout of the day. The throw over to first from Brew gets him, and Smith is officially retired for the second time today on strikeouts. Third strikeout of the day for Chapman, and that'll do it for the 5th inning, but not before the Oaks. They could score 2 runs on 1 hit by TJ Foreman. We head to the bottom half of this inning. The Oaks up by 3-0 here in Compton. You're listening here on the Conejo Oaks live stream on YouTube. Knight Uredsky, Ryan Milano with you. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-0 the score after the Conejo Oaks. They extended their lead from 1-0 to 3-0 with 2 runs in the top of the 5th inning. Joseph Wiersma still on the mound for the Oaks as the first pitch to Williams is grounded towards the right side to Bobo. He catches it, flips it to Wiersma, and the play is made. A 3-1 to Jalen Williams to start here in the 5th.
And that play is very similar to what we saw from Nicholas Marlboro to be the second out of the 1st inning, where ground ball to Bobo where Wiersma had to cover the bag. This one, not as hectic as the first one where Wiersma was able to field it successfully and get his foot on the bag without his ankle slipping, without having trouble locating the base underneath him. That time, it looked much smoother than it did in the first inning.
So now Robert Brew, the catcher, he's up at the plate with one out, nobody on here in the bottom of the fifth. 3-0 the score. The pitch from Wiersma. This one swung at by Brew. Foul tipped right at the plate. 0-1 the count. Brew, his first time up, he got ahead 2-1 before Wiersma answered back with back-to-back strikes called. He went down looking in his first plate appearance, 0-for-1 today. Now has an 0-1 count. The pitch from Wiersma swung on and missed, and Wiersma gets ahead now 0-2 to Robert Brew.
And that is just another one of the nasty sliders that we've seen from Joseph Wiersma all day. And Knight, I'm starting to think that we should start calling him Joey Slide Piece.
Yeah, I'm not with you there yet.
Not on board?
Not on board yet. 0-2 the count. The pitch, this one's fouled off to the first base side. The first base coach for the Barons got away, did not hit him, but 0-2 the count to Brew. Fourth pitch incoming. Brew has only played in 6 games prior to this one. He's only recorded 1 hit on the season. And now the 0-2 pitch to him. Looked at, got him looking for the second time today. Joseph Wiersma, his second K of the day. Both of them looking strikeouts to Brew. And now 2 are gone here in the 5th.
It's his third K of the day. He had
Third K.
two looking strikeouts to Brew and then 1 looking strikeout to Kemet Brown. And that, again, another slider, a front door slider from Joey Slide Piece to get his 3rd strikeout of the day.
You got to just stop.
Joey Slide, if he keeps being that effective with the slider,
If he gives you the consent, then I think yes. First pitch to Kemet Brown, that one misses, 1-0 the count. You mentioned, had the strikeout to Brown, looking on 5 pitches. That was in the 3rd. He led off the inning with that strikeout. And right now, Wiersma, he's only allowed 2 hits through the first 4 2/3 innings. Brown fouls off the 1-0, and now the count's even 1-1 to Kemet Brown, the shortstop. Brown, he's been impressive defensively. He's had several ground balls hit to him. He had one by T.J. Foreman, also had one from Austin Carrillo, both in the 3rd inning, back-to-back plays, and a great defensive shortstop at the plate. Pitch misses high from Wiersma. Slider got a little bit away from him, and now 2-1 the count to Brown. His name's listed on our lineup sheet as Kemet Brown, but on the website he's known as Cordell Brown. Pitch misses, and now the count's 3-1. Do you think Kemet's a middle name, or do you think it's a nickname?
I can't speak for Kemet Brown. I don't know.
I'm just asking you, do you think?
Probably not his first name.
The 3-1, looked at, it's called a strike. Brown thought maybe he was going to be taking a free trip to first, does not, and now the count's full to the shortstop. Brown batting .212 on the year, does have 15 strikeouts, only 8 walks, though, in 15 games. The payoff pitch, it's grounded foul, and we'll do the 3-2 again to Brown.
And Jim Correa, you're absolutely right. Hunter Call is also a local prospect. He is from Porter Ranch, California, which is about 15 to 20 minutes away from Cal Lutheran.
The payoff pitch. That one misses, and Brown does get his free trip to first on the 7th pitch of the at-bat from Wiersma. And now the 9-hole hitter, Ronnie Belton, he's coming up to the plate with Brown on first. So Wiersma, he got Jalen Williams to ground out on the first pitch to him. Then Robert Brew, he struck out on 4 pitches. He got him looking after Brew fouled off the 0-2 pitch. Brown worked the count full, got on first with a 2-out walk, and now Ronnie Belton at the plate for the 2nd time today. Brown goes, they pitch out the throw to second from Arrows, and that's going to get off of the glove of Smith and retained by Naviak, the shortstop, who was there backing, but the pitch out doesn't result in an out as Brown steals second.
Yeah, and right there was just a low hopper from Arrows. You want to have a little bit more air under it. Obviously, you don't want to have it be a pop fly, but you'd like for it to be on a line or a shorter hop than what it was. It bounced just shy of the pitcher's mound to be a one-hopper to second base. And we've seen a few times this season the middle infielders with trouble corralling balls on throwdowns.
The 1-0 misses to Belton, and now 2-0 the count. We've also seen one other time this season there be a pitch out to Anson Arrows. He throws it down to second, and he doesn't get the runner on the pick out. And now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, a 2-0 count to the 9-hole hitter, Ronnie Belton. The pitch from Wiersma, this one's fouled off, and now the count's 2-1 to Belton. Belton this season batting .173. He has 24 strikeouts on the year, which is pretty remarkable. He's played 16 games, so averaging over a strikeout per game he's played in. Does not have a strikeout today as he flew out in the third. Now has a 2-1 count with 2 outs and a runner on second. And the slider got him on the hip, and now Wiersma lets the next 2 batters on after getting the first 2 outs in this inning.
And that slider's been so phenomenal all day. It's had the break he's wanted, and that's the first hanging slider that he's thrown on the day. It didn't have the break to it. Stayed straight. And what he wanted to be a front door slider ended up being a trip to first base for Ronnie Belton.
So now Belton, he's at first, and Brown's at second, and now a pitching meeting with Scott Radinsky happening. The tying run, and Jordan Williams, the left fielder, coming up to the plate. 3-0 the score here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Conejo Oaks, they're leading. They took the lead 1-0 in the 3rd inning. That was after an RBI ground out by Austin Carrillo that plated JT Naviak after he led off with a double, and TJ Foreman advanced him with a ground out of his own. Then in the bottom of the 5th inning, top of the 5th inning, the Oaks, they scored 2 runs, one on JT Naviak after he reached on a fielder's choice. TJ Foreman plated him on an RBI triple. Then Foreman came around to score on the 2nd RBI ground out of the day from Austin Carrillo. Now here, bottom of the 5th inning, the pitch to Williams, and he goes opposite field. Is it going to fall in fair territory? It does. Coming around to score now is Brown, heading over to third, and being stopped there is Belton. A double for Williams, and now the score's 3-1, and both runners are in scoring position for the Barons.
And it's been 2-out hitting where the Barons have really gotten the majority of their threats in this game. They finally score after 2-out walk and a 2-out hit by pitch are followed up by a 2-out double to score Kemet Brown. And then in the 3rd inning, with 2 outs, we saw Jordan Williams have 2-out hitting again where he singled and then stole 2 bags to get himself to third base. So it's been 2-out hitting from Jordan Williams, which has really been the biggest threat of the day for the Oaks so far.
So Wiersma has 2 runners in scoring position. The tying run at second. 3-1 the score. Yeah, Belton at third, Williams at second, and now Nicholas Marlborough at the plate. Wiersma is going to step off the mound. Now back on. Wiersma, he got the first 2 outs of this inning before letting on Kemet Brown with a 7-pitch walk. Since then, it's been all Barons. First pitch to Marlborough, fouled off right at the plate. 0-1 the count. Saw Ronnie Belton. He belted it for home plate. Thought the ball might have been in play. Was not. Now 0-1 the count. Marlborough today, he's had 2 at-bats and 2 outs to the first baseman, Brendan Bobo. He grounded out to him in the first and then lined out to him to end the 3rd. And now up for the 3rd time today in his biggest at-bat of the game. 2 runners in scoring position, including the tying run, and he's at the plate with 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch goes the opposite way, just over the glove of Brendan Bobo. That's going to score Belton. Coming around to score is Williams. No play will be made at the plate. And the Barons, they tie it up. It's 3-3.
And right there, that is just an unfortunate play for the Oaks. It was off the end of the bat. Brendan Bobo just a few inches too short to leap up and grab it. Goes in a shallow right field. And with a speedster at second base, it ends up being 3 runs coming across in the inning. 2 runs on that 1 hit.
So Wiersma, he was so impressive so long, but now he's given up 3 runs for the first 20 batters he's faced. Now Alec Gonzalez, the 3-hole hitter and third baseman, comes up with a runner on first and 2 outs still. Pitch in, called for a strike, 0-1 the count.
Brent Jocks is starting to get warm in the Oaks pen.
It's been a heck of a 2-out rally for the Barons. Wiersma got the first 2 batters out on 5 pitches, and since then the Barons have exploded for 3 runs. Pitch in, and this one's sent towards center field. Sandoval giving chase, moves over towards left, and makes the play, and Gonzalez is retired to end the inning, but not before the Barons could score 3 runs on 2 hits, a double from Jordan Williams and 1 from Nicholas Marlborough. We'll head to the top of the 6th. 3-3 the score. We got ourselves a game here in Compton. You're listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream on YouTube. Top of the 6th inning, Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you here at the MLB Youth Academy in Compton. 3-3 the score after the Barons. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning to tie this game after the Oaks, they got out on front 3-0. Couple of substitutions. New player at the plate. Guess who? It's Brendan Durfee. Now the comment section's going to be going wild as the first pitch to Durfee misses away. 1-0 the count. New man on the hill is Anders Hurtado. And he's a right-hander to face off against the lefty Durfee.
Gino Altobelli, Matt Odom. Brendan Durfee's in the game just particularly for you two.
The 1-0 catches his own. 1-1 the count now to Durfee. Durfee coming in for Scott Rudinsky Jr., who came in for Lauren Frank. After Frank walked in the 4th, advanced to second as Durfee fouls off the 1-1. Now Durfee's behind 1-2.
Phil Call, I love it. He says Durf's up, gives a little hang 10.
There you go. Everybody's happy to see Brendan Durfee in the box right now.
Jim Carrillo's in on the action. He says, let's go Durfee. Everyone loves a Brendan Durfee at bat.
The 1-2, Durfee grounds it towards the right side, fielded by Williams, and he taps on the bag. So the highly anticipated Brendan Durfee at bat ends in a ground out to first, and 1 is gone here in the 6th.
It's a little bit deflating.
Yeah, you know,
so much hype.
So much tempted sacrifice play run after Brendan Bobo hit one to center field. He was thrown out by Julian Boyd. The Oaks did not get their first run of the game from Melhoff as The 1-1 catches the zone. Now the count's 1-2 to Melhoff. Melhoff did get a stolen base. That was in the 4th inning, but now has a 1-2 count with 1 out versus Hurtado. The pitch. Melhoff fouls it away, and now the count still 1-2. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Hurtado, the righty.
And so let's give the final line for Chase Chapman. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 walks. He struck out 3 batters, but 3 came through on his watch. Those are the 3 runs that the Oaks have scored in this game, 2 of them coming in the last inning of the 5th.
The 1-2 to Melhoff, swing and a miss at the plate. He goes down swinging. The throw over to first from Brew, and Melhoff's officially retired. A 5-pitch at bat to Melhoff ends in a strikeout, and now 2 are gone in the first 9 pitches from Hurtado. So now coming up to the plate is Anson Arrows, the catcher. He's facing off against Hurtado. The Oaks, they've seen Hurtado before. That was all the way back on July 6th in the game at Conejo. As Arrows swings and misses at the first pitch to him, 0-1 the count. In that game against the Oaks, Hurtado went 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run. 2 runs did come around to score, though. Also had 3 strikeouts in the performance. 0-1 to Arrows, swing and a miss. And Arrows is quickly down 0-2.
And so Arrows, he struck out in the 4th inning, but he hasn't been a huge strikeout threat this season. He has struck out in the last few games, though. It's been uncharacteristic of him. He's trying to make sure that does not become a trend.
The 0-2 looks at, misses. It's a close play. Does not offer. The pitch missed just outside, and now 1-2. And mentioned it after his last strikeout. That was his 6th strikeout in the past 6 games. Now has a 1-2 count, avoiding to go down for the 7th time. The 1-2 pitch, off speed, looked at, he held off, missed outside, and now the count's even 2-2.
And so back-to-back pitches that were close. Academy members wanted both of those to be called strikes for Anson to be rung up looking, but Arrows, he's done a good job of not offering that pitches that are not strikes.
2-2 the count, the pitch. That one misses off the plate. So after Arrows started down 0-2, he's had a patient eye, watched 3 straight pitches, missed the zone, and now 3-2 the count for Arrows.
This is the second time today where an Oak has gone down 0-2 and then worked a full count. Greg Melhoff in the 4th inning resulted in a walk.
The 3-2 fouled off by Arrows. That was the 6th pitch. We're going to have the 7th pitch incoming. Second time today, Arrows has seen a full count. Saw the full count before a strikeout in the 4th. Did have 3 balls to him in the 2nd when he walked. And now, the 7th pitch of the at-bat incoming to Anson Arrows. The payoff pitch. Arrows skies it in the air towards left center field. Going over is Williams. He makes the play on the run, and that'll do it for the top of the 6th inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Anders Hurtado, and we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, still knotted at 3. You're listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream on YouTube. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you here in the bottom of the sixth inning. 3-3 the score. We have ourselves a game here at the MLB Youth Academy in Compton. New pitcher on the mound. It's going to be Brent Jocks, the right-hander. He's set to face off against Darren McDowell, Julian Boyd, and Jalen Williams. First pitch to McDowell, which missed high, 1-0 the count. Final stat line today for Joseph Wiersma. He pitched 78 pitches in 5 innings pitched. Faced 21 batters, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. Did have 3 strikeouts, but also walked 1. Swing and a miss from McDowell, and the count's even 1-1. Jocks, the right-hander on the mound from Oxnard, goes to Cal State Los Angeles. Has a 1-1 record on the year with a 2.20 ERA for the Conejo Oaks. The 1-1, McDowell grounds it towards the left side. Melhoff fields it on a backhand, throws across the diamond to first, and the play is made, and 1 is gone here in the 6th.
And on Wiersma's performance, it's a real shame because he was phenomenal today. He's not on the hook for a decision, but he was so great today. And it's just 4 consecutive base runners to end the 5th inning that result in him not being on the hook for the win. He went through 4 scoreless. He only allowed 4 hits through the day, 2 with 2 outs in the 5th.
First pitch to Julian Boyd is fouled off 0-1, and absolutely up until 4 2/3 of the performance for Wiersma, he was so efficient. He had only allowed 2 hits, had worked through both times with the hitters reaching. Both of them reached on infield singles. Got the first 2 outs in the 5th. Couldn't get the 3rd one before 4 batters reached safely. Couldn't get the 3rd one before 4 batters reached safely. As this one skied into left field, going over is Carrillo, tracking, and did he make it? He made the catch on the run. Wow, what a play by Carrillo.
And he had to run a long way, and you could almost see the fear once the ball was off the bat, like, oh my goodness, I gotta run. I gotta go make a play here. You could see it in his body language. You could see it in the way that he sprinted towards the line, and he made it right at the chalk. Caught the ball and saved extra bases for Brent Jocks.
Yeah, what a play by Carrillo. Bolted into the corner, made the play on the run, and 5 pitches and 2 outs for Brent Jocks. First pitch to Jalen Williams misses. It was a curveball that ran a little too low, 1-0 the count. Jocks' last performance was his worst performance of the year. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits against the Riptide. This one misses high. It's a fastball that ran a little bit too up in the zone, and now 2-0 the count. That came in 1 2/3 of an innings pitched against 10 batters that he faced off against.
And no Oak was great that day.
Pitch in, swing and a miss. Now 2-1 the count. I wouldn't say that. The Oaks did win that game against the Riptide 8-7.
Oh, excuse me. I thought I was confused with the 16-4 game. I was thinking that that was the game where the Oaks got obliterated in Orange County.
This one skied in the air, shallow center field. Smith giving chase, makes the play as he backs up on his back heels, and a 1-2-3 inning for Brent Jocks here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We head to the 7th, still tied at 3. You're listening here on the Conejo Oaks live stream on YouTube. Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you here in the top of the 7th inning. Top of the 7th, Ryan Milano, you know what that means. It is your turn for play-by-play.
Brendan Bobo leading off the 7th inning for the Oaks. Raul Sandoval on deck, JT Naviak in the hole. JT has scored 2 of the 3 runs that the Oaks have scored so far today. First pitch from Andy Hurtado. Catches the outside part of the plate for a strike, 0-1. Hurtado, he worked through his first inning of action in the 6th. Went 1-2-3, a ground out to first base from Durfee as Bobo skies one into right field off the end of the bat. Belton underneath it makes the play. 2 pitches, 1 out. As 4 outs very quickly for Andy Hurtado to start off his day on the mound. Raul Sandoval is going to have to start to get the action going here in the 7th inning for the Oaks.
Yeah, and Bobo right there, it's the second fly out to right field of the game. The first one, he just got a little bit of a blooper towards right that Belton was able to sprint under that time. Using enough distance for Belton, he just had to truck over a little bit, made the play, and 1 out.
Sandoval, breaking ball, loops above the zone and misses the count 1-0. Sandoval's had his best day or one of his best days of the season so far at the plate. He singled in the 2nd inning, and then in the 5th, he walked on 6 pitches after going down 2 strikes in the count. The 1-0, outside part of the plate, called for a strike, the count 1-1. Hurtado, a pitcher that, as you mentioned, the Oaks have seen this season. Also, a relatively high-volume strike-throwing pitcher. He has 13 strikeouts on the year through 13 innings. Sandoval watches a pitch in the zone. He goes down 1-2, another count where he's seen 2 strikes to him. This is the 3rd 2-strike count for Sandoval today.
Also had a strikeout in the 6th in that 1 inning, so 14 strikeouts and now 14 innings pitched for Hurtado.
The 1-2 off the end of the bat, hard ground ball into the Oaks bullpen. It's a foul ball, so the count's still 1-2. Hurtado, we mentioned he strikes out a lot of batters, but he does not walk any either. Only 4 walks on the season for Hurtado. 2 of those came in just 1 of his appearances. So Hurtado's been very good at strike throwing. Right there, he missed the zone. The count 2-2 to Sandoval. Hurtado has a 7.61 ERA on the season, but he's going to have to come up big for the Barons to hold the Oaks at bay in a 3-3 game. The 2-2 bounces in. Sandoval, after going down 1-2, has worked back to a full count, very similar to his at-bat in the 5th inning. I mentioned that ERA for Hurtado, a lot of that is inflated after he pitched just 1/3 of an inning against the Arroyo Seco Saints. He gave up 9 total runs, 6 of them were earned in that 1/3 of an inning. Sandoval, he reaches base with a walk, 7 pitches. After going down 1-2, he saw 3 straight balls to earn himself a bag and make way for JT Naviak, who the bottom of the order for the Oaks has been effective today. Naviak, another person in it, whereas Sandoval, he's reached base all 3 times. Naviak, he's reached base twice and scored twice. And then TJ Foreman in the 9 spot, who's on deck right now. He has an RBI triple in the 5th. A right-handed pitcher on the mound, so Sandoval can get a little bit of a bigger lead, but not too much as the throw back to first base by Hurtado keeps Sandoval honest. Naviak still awaiting the first pitch into him. Hurtado, in that game against Arroyo Seco, his season ERA jumped from 2.25 to 8.64. Naviak watches a pitch, missed below the zone, the count 1-0. So Hurtado, even though his ERA, one of the higher ones on the Academy Barons, he has still been one of the more effective pitchers for a majority of his appearances. The 1-0, Naviak looks at it off the plate, outside, the count 2-0. 5 consecutive balls for Andy Hurtado, trying to locate the zone. Defensively for the Barons, it's the same defensive set that we saw to start off this game. There have not been any changes in the field. The 2-0 misses high and away, and Naviak watches the count go 3-0, 6 straight balls, and that prompts Brew to go and talk to his pitcher. The defensive alignment reiteration for the Barons. In center field, it's Julian Boyd. Left is Jordan Williams. And in right, it's Ronnie Belton. In the field at first base, we see Jalen Williams, Nicholas Marlborough at second, Kemet Brown at shortstop, and then at third, Alec Gonzalez. Robert Brew is behind the dish, and Andy Hurtado, the only change that has been made in the field for the Barons. He came on the mound after Chase Chapman, the starting pitcher, went 5 innings of 3-run baseball. To 3-0, Naviak watches a pitch in the zone, so the 6th straight ball streak is over for Hurtado. He throws a strike, and the count is 3-1.
Yeah, and you mentioned it prior to Sandoval walking. He only had 4 walks in the season coming into that. Now that's number 5 with Sandoval. For Hurtado to give up back-to-back walks would be a severe rarity.
Naviak fouls off a pitch that was in the zone, and the count has run full, so the mound meeting from Brew worked for Hurtado. He's refocused, and he's thrown 2 consecutive strikes to get to a payoff pitch against JT Naviak. Naviak reached his first time on a double. His second time was a fielder's choice that got out Sandoval after Raul reached first base on a walk. 3-2-1, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and this pitch misses high and away. Sandoval was running, but it won't matter as Naviak reaches first base. So 2 back-to-back walks for Hurtado, a rarity for Andy on the hill. He's going to have to face off against a 9-hole hitter, TJ Foreman now, trying not to continue that streak.
Yeah, and Hurtado only had 1 walk in each of his past 4 games total, so to have him have back-to-back walks is insane. He only had 2 walks in 1 game all season. That was against the Foresters on June 29th, but 2 walks here in the 7th after getting the first batter out. It's quite rare, but it happens. Pitchers go through phases, have upside performances, have downside performances. Right now, back-to-back walks, a rarity for Hurtado.
TJ Foreman, he's 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch to him, ground ball to shortstop. Brown backhands, throws to second. Marlborough the relay to first, in time to get him. The speed of Foreman not enough to run out of a double play, and the inning is over. So 1 runner left on base after 2 reached on a walk in the inning. No runs came around to score, no errors as well. Bottom 7, the Oaks try to keep this game tied on the Oaks live stream. Leading off the bottom of the 7th inning, Robert Brew. So it's going to be 7, 8, 9. Brew, Brown, Belton. The Killer Bees at the bottom of the order for the Barons. Facing off against Brent.
It's a lot of bees.
Jocks. Ball thrown, ball called.
Bees everywhere.
I don't think I can keep the streak. Count 1-0. Brew watches a pitch off the plate, so 2 balls. Count 2-0. In the CCL standings right now, the Oaks, they lead the Barons by 6 games. Barons out of playoff contention. The 2-0, Jocks misses low and away, count 3-0. The teams that the Oaks are chasing, Orange County Riptide, a half game ahead of Conejo, and the San Luis Obispo Blues, which are a game and a half ahead of the Oaks. The 3-0, over the heart of the plate for a strike. Green light was not given to Brew, who struck out both times. He's come up to the plate today. Currently, right now, the Riptide and the Blues are facing each other. That is a 2-2 game in the 7th inning. The 3-1 called a strike. Brew was halfway through tossing his bat. Thought he had a trip to first base. He didn't. Count is run full. Brent Jocks earns himself a payoff pitch. The 3-2, Brew does not offer. The pitch misses low and away, and a walk for Jocks, his first base runner allowed of the day.
And that last pitch from Jocks, it was just a fastball that ran a little bit too away from him. Wasn't the best motion from him, and Brew, he finally gets aboard. He looked at 2 pitches called for strikes in his first 2 at-bats. That time, finally gets a pitch that he looks at. It's called a ball. And he heads over to first. And now a mound meeting with Anson Arrows and Brent Jocks here. Nobody out here in the 7th, but, you know, you got to get on trends a little bit early. Arrows trying to calm down Jocks before the damage is too much. They just have the go-ahead run at first. Nothing to be too worried about at this point.
And that's only the 3rd time this season that Robert Brew has reached base. He had 1 walk and 1 hit prior to the day today. That his 2nd walk of the season. It's going to bring up Kemet Brown, the 8-hole hitter. He's reached base once today. A walk in the 5th inning. He came around to score, was one of the 3 runs in the game for the Barons and one of the 3 runs in the inning for Academy. Now with no outs and a runner on, squares to bunt, puts it down. Arrows catches the runner between 2nd and 1st, throws to Naviak, and he's gunned down at 2nd base. Brew's time on the base paths is short-lived as Anson Arrows continues to show off his defensive prowess behind the dish. The count 0-1, and now 1 out in the inning.
And right there, Brew is confused. Arrows pump faked towards first, then Brew was heading over to 2nd, then Arrows pump faked again, caught him in the rundown, then he eventually just had to go to 2nd. Arrows threw it down, a nice and easy play.
The 0-1 pitch misses low and inside. The count 1-1. Anson Arrows taps his chest, says that's on me. Ball was squirted out of the glove of Arrows and trickling towards the Oaks dugout. Both teams 3 runs. Oaks 5 hits compared to the Barons 4. This ball on the ground. Melhoff charging, throws to first off a bare hand, not in time to get him. So Brown aboard with an infield single. That makes the hits even at 5 apiece for the game. Brent Jocks looked like he had a chance at that ball, but did not option to go after it and let Melhoff try to take it. Ultimately, the 3rd baseman couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, that was a tough play for Jocks. You want to have your fielders field the ball. That one could have gone either way. Jocks could have maybe picked up the ball half a second sooner, gunned it to first, and maybe gone Brown. But Brown's a quick runner. He came around to score in that 3-run 5th inning for the Barons. And now you have another speedster at first. Still 1 out, but something to be wary of if you're an Oak fan right now is the speed on the base paths in Brown.
Jocks to Belton, pitch out, Arrows catches it, but the runner doesn't go. Count 1-0. And so, Knight, we talked a little bit about that Riptide Blues games that's tied at 2 apiece. The Blues a game and a half ahead of the Oaks. The Riptide half a game ahead of the Oaks. And if you are the Oaks, who do you want to win that game? Is it the Riptide, where if the Oaks end up winning this game against Academy, Oaks would be a half game back of both teams? Or the Blues win, where the Oaks jump a half game ahead of the Riptide, where this pitch fouled straight back, count 1-1. Where if the Blues win, it gives the Oaks a chance to catch 2 teams, but if the Riptide win, then the Oaks are in playoff position.
I think the answer is you want the Riptide to lose as much as possible, which includes today, including the Blues. I know the Blues are a game and a half ahead of the Oaks right now. The Oaks are going to get the Blues on Friday. They're also going to get the Riptide on Saturday, but it's crucial keeping the Riptide half a game within them. That's exactly what the Oaks need to do.
Pickoff to first base, not in time. Brendan Bobo applies the tag, but late.
And so I think the answer is have the Riptide lose. Then if the Oaks, they lose this game, they're 3-3 right now, so they're still in it. They're not losing at the moment. But just in case they do lose today, you want the Riptide to lose today. So if they do lose, then they're only half a game out of the playoffs still. If the Oaks win today.
As another pickoff, not in time to get Kemet Brown.
And the Riptide lose, then the Oaks, they're in playoff position. So I think it's a win-win situation if the Oaks win or lose today, if the Riptide lose. And so to me, I think that you need to have the Riptide lose today to the Blues, despite the Blues being able to maybe extend their lead over the Oaks for that third place. Right now, the Oaks, they just need to be concerned about getting to fourth place, not third.
Another pickoff, 3 in a row, 3 times unsuccessful as Brown back in safely. And I think the main part of the equation is that the Oaks, they have to win today. It's a 3-3 game in the bottom of the 7th inning, a runner on first, 1 out, bottom of the order, 9-hole hitter Ronnie Belton at the plate. The Oaks have beat Academy all 4 times the teams have played this year. As the 1-1 swing and a miss, Belton chases a high fastball, count 1 and 2. And so the Oaks, they have back-to-back games against Academy, both today and tomorrow. And if Conejo can finish the season 6-0 against Academy, then it would give the Oaks a good chance to, A, catch back up to the teams that are slightly ahead of them, and B, solidify themselves into a playoff position, having beat the teams that they're quote-unquote supposed to beat with records that are below theirs. Pickoff back to first. Jocks not successful again, the 4th time he's thrown over. 4th time that Brown has been able to dive back in safely.
And the one ball in this at bat was a pickoff, so.
Pitch out.
Or pitch out, excuse me. And so, you know, they've been really keeping an eye on Brown. It's like they heard me when I said that he was going to be speedy at first.
The 1-2, high fastball off the plate. The count 2-2, not a pitch out, but one where Arrows was not in his full stance. He was half standing, and the pitch was called for a high and outside fastball. So again, a pitch that could have been used to watch the runner at first. Oaks very wary of Kemet Brown on the base paths. The 2-2, Brown running. The pitch slips out of the hand of Arrows on the transition. The pitch also called a ball, so the count is run full, a runner at second base. So after one pitch out and one that could have been a pitch out, the Oaks do not get the strike call. Now the count is run full, and also they allow a runner to get to second base.
And it's just a tough break right there. Arrows, he's going to hurt himself or hound himself on that play as the ball just went out of his glove, had his hand, the ball in his hand, and just slipped out.
3-2 is skied out of play, foul ball. 3-2 will be done again. That was the 7th stolen base of the season for Kemet Brown. That puts Brown tied for second on the team in stolen bases. Julian Boyd and Jordan Williams ahead of him. Williams, with the 2 stolen bases that he had today, puts him with 12 on the season. Another foul ball scared some of the people that work for the Barons here in the press box. It was going right back at them. The screen protects them. No harm done, except for the fact that Brent Jocks will have to throw another pitch.
Yeah, already 7 pitches in this at bat. And, you know, this is a crucial at bat. It's a full count. You have a runner in scoring position that is the go-ahead run for the Barons. And right now, you really just need to get this out and try to get 2.
Swing and a miss. The second out of the inning, the first strikeout of the day for Jocks, and Ronnie Belton goes down swinging. That is a big out for the Oaks, because not only is there a runner in scoring position, and there was just 1 out before that, but it's also the top of the lineup coming up. So now you just need 1 more out against Jordan Williams to escape the inning.
And it is. It's a huge out, but, you know, the Barons, they scored all 3 of their runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Now they have 2 outs now, and so the Barons, they've proved that they can hit with 2 outs. This is the biggest at-bat of the game for the Oaks right now in a 3-3 game.
Swing and a miss. Count 0-1 to Jordan Williams. Williams so far today singled and doubled. RBI double in the fifth, as well as he came around to score in that inning. In the third, he singled, then stole second and third base, but could not come around to score. Jocks checks the runner at second. This one skied high and deep down the right field line, but in foul territory. A scary play for the Oaks, but one that they get the benefit of the doubt as the ball curves foul. The count 0-2. So an 0-2 count, 2 outs. Runner on second base. The pitch just off the plate, outside. The count 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Jocks trying to get his second strikeout of the day, trying to get out of the inning. He went 1-2-3 in the sixth. It's not as simple here in the seventh. Off the end of the bat and out of play towards the left field side. The count still 1-2.
And for Jocks right now, you are ahead 1-2 with 2 outs. You can waste a pitch here and try to get him to chase. He's fouled off a couple of pitches, including one that he sent well over the wall, just foul. So maybe here, go something off speed, low in the dirt, try to get him to chase front-footed, and then after that, if he doesn't chase, then you have a 2-2 count, something to work with. Right here, I'm not throwing a strike. I'm trying to get him to chase.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner in scoring position, a 3-3 ball game. The pitch, swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of Arrows, and Jocks' second strikeout gets him out of the 7th inning. We're still not at 3 apiece. 2 innings of action left in regulation. The Oaks, they're trying to take it when we come back on the Oaks live stream. Top of the 8th inning, 6 outs for both teams to break this tie, unless we're going to head to extras. New pitcher on the hill, it's Amari Paula. That name might be familiar to you. He pitched against the Oaks once. That came all the way back on June 23rd. That was the 18-10 victory for Conejo. Paula pitched 1 inning, gave up 5 earned runs on 4 hits. This season, he has an ERA of 18.69. Carrillo squares to bunt, pulls back, ball misses low, count 1-0. And so this season, Paula, he has just 4 1/3 innings pitched in total. He gave up the 5 earned runs against the Oaks. He also had a 1-inning performance against the Riptide in which he gave up 3 earned runs. And a 1-inning outing against the Foresters in which he gave up 1 run as he goes down in the count 2-0 after Carrillo watches the second ball. So now, behind in the count to Carrillo 2-0. He's walked 5 batters in his 4 1/3 inning this season. He's walked at least 1 batter in every outing he's had. Now 1 pitch away after the 3rd pitch of the at-bat misses high to adding another one to start off this outing. He's had 1 outing this season in which he hasn't given up a run. That was on July 23rd against the San Luis Obispo Blues. The Barons lost that game 11-4, but he pitched 1 1/3 innings as he lets Carrillo go on 4 straight pitches. And in those 1 1/3, he allowed just 1 hit, 1 walk, and no one came around to score. The Oaks, they're hoping that this is one of the first 3 performances, or similar to it, in which a run comes around to score rather than the latter for Amari Paula. They started off in the right way with a leadoff runner on. Carrillo at first, now Smith in the box. Grant Smith, he's 0 for 2 on the day. Squares to bunt, puts one down, and it ended up touching him. So it's a foul ball. Austin Carrillo has to go back to first. Grant Smith thought he put down a ball in fair territory. And actually, no, he's out because it touched him out of the box. So an 0 for 4 day for Grant Smith. He was running out of the box. The ball touched him while he was running down the base paths. And so not only does he not advance the runner, but he does not get to see any more pitches.
I have no idea how to score that.
I don't either. I think that's a quick Google search. Or if someone in the comments could tell us how we're supposed to score that, that would be great because I have no idea. Neither do the people running the point streak here at Academy. So everyone's confused. 1-0 to Brendan Durfee. He pinch hit in the 6th inning for Scott Radinsky, who pinch ran for Lauren Frank. The 1-0, Skine into right center field. Boyd going to the gap, makes the play. Carrillo has to track back to first. Durfee put a charge in it, just not enough to get it down in the gap. So 2 quick outs here in the 8th inning after the leadoff base runner came aboard. And I believe the score for Grant Smith is just interference.
There you go.
So an F8 to center field and interference. Follow after an interference to Grant Smith brings up Greg Melhoff to try to drive in a run that has not advanced after getting on leadoff after 4 straight pitches. Melhoff today has reached base twice. First pitch to him. Outside part of the plate. Catches the zone for a strike. 0-1. Melhoff tripled in the 2nd inning. Walked in the 4th. Could not come around to score in either inning. Paula, after throwing 4 straight walks to Carrillo, has gotten 2 outs on 3 pitches. Check swing from Melhoff. Did he go? The appeal. No, he didn't, says the umpire occupying second base. So the count 1-1.
That was a close play. I thought Melhoff went right there. They did not call him that he went. And so the count's even 1-1, but right now, Carrillo, he reached on the 4-pitch walk. Haven't seen him take off towards second, which we've seen him do prior to it.
Melhoff, big swing and a miss. Fastball on the inside half of the plate. Melhoff just couldn't catch up with it. So now Paula 1 strike away from getting out of the inning.
We saw Carrillo thrown out in the 1st, and now they have him in a similar spot here. I don't think the Oaks have been really eager to run on the base paths.
Carrillo's going. Melhoff fouls off a pitch. Carrillo's going to have to trek back to first. It's another lefty pitcher. Carrillo tried to steal against the lefty in the 1st inning. Now trying to steal again against the lefty in the 8th. has to trot back to first base. It's another lefty on the hill off a righty-heavy lineup. Brendan Durfee pinch hit for Lauren Frank, so that transfers a righty to a lefty in the stat sheet or on the lineup card. That makes it 3 lefties in the lineup for the Oaks. Melhoff watches a ball that is in the dirt. Changeup that misses the zone, so the count is 2-2. Melhoff stays alive. Carrillo at first being held on by Williams at that first base bag. The 2-2 catches the zone. Melhoff goes down looking. Second strikeout for him today. First strikeout of the day for Amari Paula. And the Oaks can't capitalize on a leadoff base runner. No runs, no hits, no errors. Single man left on base. Oaks trying to hold it 3 apiece in the bottom of the 8th inning. You're listening to the Oaks live stream. Nicholas Marlborough, he's leading off the bottom of the 8th inning. 6 outs for Academy. Only 3 outs for the Oaks. This game's still knotted at 3, so the outs really don't matter. But Marlborough watches a first pitch onto his bat that he skies out of play, so the count 0-1.
Looks like the top of the scoreboard for the visitor side has gone out here.
So the scoreboard having some weird malfunction as this one is off the end of the bat to TJ Foreman, who catches it on the fly. The count is now reset after the first out of the inning on the flyout.
Good save right there, Ryan.
You got me flustered talking about the scoreboard. I was thinking about why would the scoreboard have gone out?
I don't know. It's definitely interesting. You can see the top half of the 0 in the visitor side in the first inning. But other than that, blanks across the top of the scoreboard for the Oaks. So as it looks right now, it looks like 3-0 for the Barons, despite it being 3-3.
Ground ball to Naviak on the first pitch, trying to beat it out, and not in time is Alec Gonzalez. 1 pitch, 1 out for the third baseman. That makes it 2 outs in the inning.
And although the scoreboard here may be incorrect, the scoreboard on our broadcast right now
is correct.
It's correct.
Don't worry, we got the right one.
It is 3-3.
Actually, it's not correct. Now it is that I just added the extra out.
There you go. Thank you, Ryan. So our scoreboard is correct.
It's a hard job over here.
And they just fixed the scoreboard.
It's witchcraft. Darren McDowell, first pitch to him, doesn't look at it, or doesn't swing at it. He looks at it, the count 1-0. I'm all sorts of out of sorts this inning.
It's okay. We all have them.
It's a long game.
It's
I'm prepared for this game to potentially go in extra innings. The Oaks have to get past 4 more outs one in this inning as the 1-0 runs high and tight. Count 2-0, Brent Jocks. He's in his third inning of action. Came in to relieve Joseph Wiersma the sixth. Went 1-2-3 in that inning, and then in the seventh allowed 2 base runners. Only saw 4 as one was caught in between first and second base. 1 pitch away from letting a base runner aboard in the 8th inning after he got the first 2 out, but has now gone 3 consecutive balls to Darren McDowell.
Yeah, he had a strike and then 2 balls put in play in his first 3 pitches, and since then 3 straight balls from Jocks. So crucial at bat right here.
Jocks misses the zone. 4-pitch walk. We saw a 4-pitch walk from Amari Paula last inning. Now a 4-pitch walk from Jocks. A 2-out base runner for Academy. And the last time Academy had a 2-out base runner, it was in the 5th inning. It was a walk from Kemet Brown and then a hit by pitch from Ronnie Belton. Then a 1 RBI double from Jordan Williams, followed up by a 2 RBI single from Nicholas Marlborough. Those are where all 3 runs came in for Academy in this game. The Oaks offensively, it's been a different story. Julian Boyd at the plate here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Oaks had runners threatening in almost every inning in the beginning of this game. First pitch to Boyd, misses inside, the count 1-0. They had the first runner on in the first. Chase Chapman was able to get out of that jam after Correa was caught stealing. Then they had a runner on third base with no outs after a leadoff triple from Greg Melhoff. He was then caught out at the plate on a double play. Still in that inning, they had runners on the corners, tried to execute a double steal from first and third. As this pitch cut through, fouled off, the count 1-1. That didn't work as Arrows was thrown out at the dish. They ended up scoring in the 3rd inning after JT Naviak led off with a double. In the 4th inning, they had 2 runners on with a runner on second and first with no outs after 2 walks from Frank and Melhoff. Then they weren't able to execute in that inning. After this pitch is called for a strike, it's 1-2. Arrows, he struck out on the full count, and a strike him out, throw him out from Robert Brew behind the dish, gunned down Scott Radinsky, who pinch ran for Lauren Frank. Then the Oaks, they were effective in the 5th, and since then they haven't been threatening nearly as much as they were throughout the first 5 innings. But it has been missed opportunities for the Oaks offensively throughout the first 5 innings. And a strike 3, Brent Jocks gets out of the inning, a looking strikeout to Julian Boyd. The Barron side isn't happy with it, but now we head into the 9th. This game is tied at 3 apiece. Will the score be broken in regulation? We'll find out on the Oaks live stream coming up next. Christian Johnson now on the hill. Christian Johnson now on the hill. Johnson, he has a 5.06 ERA on the season, and he's going to have to try to work through Anson Arrows, Brendan Bobo, and Raul Sandoval, the 5, 6, 7 hitters for the Oaks. This game's tied at 3 in the 9th inning. If the Oaks can't scratch across runs here, then they're going to have to hope for extras. Arrows, so far today, has reached base once, a walk in the 2nd inning. I ended up getting caught out at the plate after trying to execute a double steal. First pitch, 2 Arrows. Off the barrel, but out of play. Count 0-1. His last 2 times up, struck out on a full count, and then flew out to left field, also on a full count. Christian Johnson, he's faced off against the Oaks twice. He was credited with the loss in the long 4-hour and 20-minute 18-10 game that we saw on the 23rd of June. In 1 1/3 innings pitched, he gave up 2 earned runs. And then against the Oaks, he had an inning pitched on June 30th, where he gave up a run as well. Has not given up a run against a team not named Conejo.
Wow.
3 performances since he's gone against the Oaks. Those came on July 11th, July 17th, and July 22nd after Arrows watches a pitch off the plate, 1-1. Those came against the Riptide, Foresters, and Blues, respectively. 3 combined innings, 0 combined runs, 1 combined hit. The 1-1 misses the zone. The count 2-1. So Arrows facing off against Johnson, who on the season has struck out 7 batters in 5 1/3, also walked 5. The 2-1, swing and a miss, elevated fastball. 2-2 the count. Anson Arrows trying not to go down on strikes for the 2nd time today. On the season, Anson Arrows does go down on strikes, swinging at the 5th pitch, the first strikeout of the day and the first out of the inning for Christian Johnson. That, for Anson Arrows, is his 10th strikeout of the year.
And 7 have come in his last 6 games. That's the most crazy statistic. Because Anson Arrows, he's normally not a strikeout hitter, but today strikes out twice. In the last 6 games, 7 strikeouts.
Brendan Bobo fouls off the first pitch, out of play, count 0-1. Wardrobe change for Brendan Bobo. He's put on his hoodie underneath his uniform.
I don't even think it's that cold.
We are a little bit further back off the playing surface. I'm sure it's a little bit colder when we're not shielded by some walls of the wind. Count 1-1 after Bobo watches a pitch brushing back below the knees.
Yeah, but we're in Southern California in the summer. It shouldn't be hoodie weather.
Can you blame a man for being cold? The 1-1. Bobo skies one to right field. Belton will catch it on a line. Hard hit ball to dead right, but Ronnie Belton was right there to catch it. 2 outs in the inning. Raul Sandoval trying to generate 2-out offense in the 9th.
Got a little excited for that one, Ryan, as he belted it to right, but Belton, the guy there, able to make the play as he moves over towards his left side, and 2 quick outs for the Oaks. 2-out hitting all season for the Oaks. It's been fairly well. They're going to need to have it right here if they want to win this game in regulation time.
Sandoval, first pitch, watches it in the zone, count 0-1. Raul Sandoval so far today, reached base all 3 times he's come to the plate. 2 walks, those have been in his 2 most recent at-bats. Both of them came on full counts. 1 step closer to a full count in this at-bat as he sees the first ball, 1-1. First time up, he had 2 strikes on him as well. This time a 2-2 count, hit a single right back up the middle. The 1-1 catches the outside part of the plate for a strike, 1-2. Sandoval, where he's comfortable so far today with 2 strikes on him. This is his 4th full strike count and his 4th plate appearance. Pitch. Sandoval watches it. It rung him up the first time Sandoval struck out today, and The Oaks are going to have to hope for extras in the bottom of the ninth, trying to get through it. They go down in short order against Christian Johnson. We head to that bottom of the ninth with a new pitcher on the hill when we come back on the Oaks live stream. Bottom of the ninth inning, Aiden Hawley's going to have to get it done on the hill for the Oaks. He comes in relief of Brent Jonks, who pitched 3 shutout innings in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Hawley has not given up a run yet this season in his 3 appearances with the Oaks, trying to keep that streak. Facing off against Jalen Williams, leading off the 9th inning. 6, 7, 8 due up. First pitch. Misses low and inside, the count 1-0. Hawley loses his hat on the first pitch.
Seen him do that before. He's lost his hat once before, throwing the ball that he throws it so hard he loses his hat.
I think that might also have to do with the hat shortage, of the legendary hat shortage of Conejo. The 1-0 misses low again, so the count 2-0.
The legendary hat shortage. This makes it sound like a major world event.
Yeah, basically, the Oaks, we've run out of hats. We've got to give players some bigger hats.
The Oaks hat shortage of 2021.
The 2-0 misses low and outside. It's 3-0. 3 close pitches, 3 pitches that weren't called. Jawing from both dugouts back and forth to each other as both wanted that pitch. Well, the Oaks wanted that pitch to be called a strike. Barons obviously thought it was a correct call with the ball. The 3-0 catches the inside part of the plate for a strike. Count 3-1.
Also, right now, the Barons dugout, they're just fired up. They're trying to win this game. They could walk it off here in the 9th. A new pitcher. It's a clean reset for them, and they're starting to make noise. This is the most amount of noise they've made throughout the game.
Hawley has not faced off against the Barons yet this season. He's seen the Riptide, the Saints, and the Foresters. 3-1. Appeal. Checked his swing, didn't go, and the leadoff runner is on with a walk. And so that means that the winning run is on first base.
And it does. And the Barons, they're really fired up right now. They have all the momentum in the world. They just got a first leadoff hitter walk. They have the go-ahead run, winning run at first. And now They're rolling. They have the momentum. This is a crucial moment for Aiden Hawley right now for him to bounce back after allowing the leadoff walk. Needs to answer back. He's yet to give up a hit as an Oaks pitcher, but it's crucial. He's pitching here in the ninth. Pitching coach Scott Radinsky, he trusts him, and now we have a pitch runner coming in.
That's Basil Williams, who's pinch running for Jalen Williams.
Williams to Williams.
Yeah, so it won't make any difference in our call. Just saying the last name. The Oaks this season, they have not hit a walk-off, nor have they been walked off this year. So if the Barons win this game, it's going to be newfound territory for the Oaks.
If the Oaks prevent the Barons from scoring here, this is the first time they've actually played a continuation to an extra innings game.
Yes, they had one extra inning game against the Foresters, which took about a month between inning 9 and inning 10. So Basil Williams pinch running at first. Robert Brew, the bottom of the order now, set up 7, 8, 9 to face off against Aiden Hawley. Brew has reached base once today. He walked in his last at-bat, squares to bunt, pulls it back. Back pick from Ansoneros. Not in time to get Williams at first. The count 1-0. So Aiden Hawley, he's thrown 6 pitches thus far. 5 of them have been balls. Trying to locate the 1-0, squares to bunt again, pulls it back. Off the plate was the pitch. 2-0. And now you can really hear the Barons dugout getting loud.
They're fired up. They're all standing. Everybody's clapping, making noise right now. And why not? They just saw a pitcher throw his first 7 pitches, 6 of them be balls. And now a 2-0 count right now to Robert Brew.
The 2-0 pulls back again. Pitch off the plate again. Aiden Hawley continues to struggle with the strike zone. The Barons have only 5 wins on the season, have not beat the Oaks yet this year. The Oaks, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They need this win. The 3-0 called to strike, so the only 2 strikes of the inning for Aiden Hawley, called on 3-0 counts. Squares to bunt again, puts it down in front of the plate. Hawley picks it up, throws to first, it's in time. 1 out, and now a runner in scoring position. Hawley doesn't let him get aboard free, but it is an advancement of the runner to second base.
And that's exactly what Robert Brew, the catcher, needed to do. He needed to lay down that sac bunt. Had a 3-1 count to start. Hawley answered back with a strike on the 3-0 pitch. Then right there, Brew lays down the bunt. It advances the runner. Hawley could have maybe had a play at second, but he took the safe bet and threw it to first. Got the batter, and looks like runner at first.
So there's the runner at first base.
They're going to walk.
Intentional walk. It's an intentional walk of Kemet Brown to see the batter and Ronnie Belton. So Kemet Brown was due up next. They did not pitch to him. It's an intentional walk. The double play now could potentially be on if there's a ground ball up the middle. Grant Smith goes to the second base bag. Naviak is where he typically is, between second and third base, so no change in the defensive lineup. The Riptide, they won against the Blues 3-2. The Oaks, they need this win to keep pace. Runners on first and second, 1 out. First pitch in the dirt. Arrows blocks it, prevents it from going to the backstop. The count 1-0. So Aiden Hawley, a walk to the first batter. Saw 3 balls to Brew. Was able to get an out on the sacrifice bunt. Intentionally walked Kemet Brown, and now throws a first pitch ball to Ronnie Belton. 1 ball, Smith, he dives back to second base. Hawley doesn't turn. Trying to keep him honest at second. We've seen a few times this season where the defenseman has crashed on a ball that they try to pick off over at second base, and a balk be called on the Oaks pitchers. Got to be careful of that here. Do not want to advance the runners. The 1-0 misses low. 2-0 the count. High pressure situation for Aiden Hawley. Hawley from Westmont College out of Burbank, California. He's had 3 1/3 innings this season. Hasn't allowed a hit yet this year. With the 2 walks today, has 4 total walks on his season. The 2-0, right down the middle for a strike, 2-1.
And each pinch, you can feel the intensity right now. It's a 2-1 count, 1 out. The Oaks, they need 2 outs to stay alive in this game. The Barons are 180 feet away from locking this game out, and it's a crucial game for the standings. The Oaks, they need to win this game. And who would have thought they'd be battling here against the Barons in the 9th inning?
Arrows wave down to Grant Smith. Might be a back pick here. The 2-1 in the zone. Arrows throws down to Smith. It was a back pick, but back in time is Basil Williams. So the count 3-1. Arrows try to get Smith's attention. You saw arm action on a wave from Anson Arrows, which could have looked to the naked eye like he was stretching, and then Grant Smith sort of popped his shoulder, both of which I assume were indications of a back pick. 3-1, swing and a miss. Count has run full. What might be the biggest pitch of the Oaks season. A 3-2 count, 1 out in the inning. Runners on first and second base. The 9-hole hitter and Ronnie Belton. He saw a full count in his last at-bat. He struck out swinging. He sees another full count here. Hawley set. Checks the runner. The 3-2 off the plate. Hawley walks the bases full. A force at any bag. 1 out in the inning. And the top of the order coming to the plate, it's Jordan Williams. Williams so far today, he's 2 for 4, struck out in his last at-bat, but he has an RBI single in the 5th, as well as a run scored in the inning. As Coach Dave Solis, he is going to announce a pitching change, and new pitchers coming in. It looks like Nick Rinkover. He has work to do. We're going to step away for the most important batter of the Oaks season when we come back on the Oaks live stream. Back here, bottom of the ninth inning, bases loaded, 1 out. Nick Rinkover has come in to relieve Aiden Hawley, and Daniel Cabral has come into the game for Raul Sandoval, an extra infielder for the Oaks. So 5 men on the infield, Melhoff, Naviak, Cabral, Smith, and Bobo, all of them with their feet on the grass. The leadoff hitter, Jordan Williams, trying to drive in a run. Nick Rinkover, he's come in with the bases loaded before. That was against the Riptide on July 18th. He pitched 2 innings. He got 6 consecutive outs, and he struck out the side with the bases loaded when he came into relief. Can he do it again here? The first pitch, swing and a miss. 1 strike to Jordan Williams. Rinkover in that game earned player of the game honors. If he could pull out of this inning here, he might earn it once again. The 0-1, bouncing ball foul. The count 0-2. Williams struck out once today. That was in his last at-bat in the 7th. Rinkover, 16 strikeouts on the season. The newly committed UC Irvine product, trying to come up with the biggest 2 outs of the year for the Oaks.
Can see Grant Smith practicing his motion, getting down, acting like he was fielding a ground ball, then shifting his hips and turning towards the plate. The whole entire infield is in. You have the extra infielder in Cabral. Coach Solis, he's full sending it on this bases-loaded game here in the 9th.
The 0-2, swing, foul ball. The 0-2 will stay. Jordan Williams has 21 strikeouts on the year coming into this at-bat. The Oaks are hoping to get his 22nd. The Barons just want a ball in play. Arrows behind the dish. The 0-2, time called. Pitch doesn't count.
Rinkover wanted that one.
It was a well-executed pitch at the knees, but time was called before the pitch was thrown. A late time call from the box and Jordan Williams. The 0-2 will be done again. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, bounce to third. Melhoff, the throw home, airmailed. The Barons walk it off. The Oaks, they lose 4-3. And so the Oaks, they lose this one in walk-off fashion.
Wow. And the infield, they came in. There was a play at the plate. And Melhoff, the sure-handed third baseman that's been so good defensively all season, throws towards the plate. It sails over the head of Arrows. And the Oaks, they lose a heartbreaker here at the MLB Youth Academy. Wow.
The Oaks, they now fall a game and a half back of both the San Luis Obispo Blues and the Orange County Riptide. So with just a few games left in the season, 5 games left in the year for the regular season for the Oaks, they're going to have to make up some ground against both Orange County and San Luis Obispo. So far today for the Oaks, it was just a crushing bottom of the 5th inning with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. 4 consecutive base runners ended up in 3 runs coming across. The win is going to go to the Barons, and it's going to be on the back of Christian Johnson. That's the man who came in and shut down the 9th inning. The loss going to Aiden Hawley.
Man, what a game, and it's a tough break for the Oaks. This was a must-win game for them, especially with the standings. Now they may drop the Riptide. They may go ahead of them. The Oaks still staying in that 5th place spot, just a half game out of the playoffs as of right now. But, man, what a tough loss here today for the Oaks. The Oaks, they were leading 3-0. They blew the 3-0 lead in the 5th, and then to have them see a walk-off happen on an air, it's heartbreaking, man.
Tough loss for the Oaks. They drop it 4-3. They dropped their first game against the Barons this entire season. And now it's going to be gut check time for the Oaks coming up over the next week. They play against Academy again tomorrow. That is a must-win game for the Oaks. If they lose that, then they are still a game and a half back. If Orange County or San Luis Obispo loses, they need a win tomorrow. What is probably the most crucial game of the season coming up tomorrow against Academy. The Oaks trying to revenge this loss at 4:45 at Sparky Anderson Field. From Ryan Milano and Knight Uretsky, we'll see you tomorrow.